and gentlemen, it is your boy Rico back at it again, joined by the good homie Steve, the Judge Mathis, the draft specialist. This is his Super Bowl, man. This is his thing, and I'm glad because I am not as versed when it comes to college football. I will never pretend to be that guy. I try to inform myself as much as I can, but joined by my side is my man Steve Mathis. Steve, how are you today? How are you, man?
I'm doing good. So this is actually my favorite day of the draft because this is where all my favorite prospects. Here's the thing. This is where this year is weird. I usually love this day of the draft because all my favorite prospects are here, but the NFL is finally catching up with me, and a lot of them were taken in the third round yesterday. I was crossing off a lot of my favorites last night after we went off air, like Tanner Muse and Terrell Burgess and Julian Blackmon. I was not too pleased with some of the names that I had to cross off last night.
I missed Tanner Muse. Where did Tanner Muse end up going?
Oakland.
Oh God! Did you really?
They stole Bowden. They stole Tanner Muse. The Patriots got Dalton Keene, was one of my favorite tight ends.
Okay.
Yeah, not a good third round for me after Zach Moss.
I'm still baffled. I gotta bring this a little closer. I'm still baffled at the fact that the Raiders chose 3 receivers with their first 4 picks.
I'm not at all.
3 receivers?
If you're John Gruden and you don't believe in any of the quarterbacks in this draft class, and you have to go all in on Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota, and you're moving to Las Vegas and you need to have an offense that moves the football, and you have an owner that probably cares more about money than winning, you gotta draft things that'll sell tickets. And the guys they drafted will sell tickets. The guys they drafted will score points, but whether that's the greatest team building strategy in the world is to be determined.
To be determined.
So, they had a very Doug Whaley draft where they are just collecting a lot of talent, but Lord knows whether they will all fit the locker room together.
Absolutely. So we have officially arrived to day 3. I'm going to welcome each and every one of you guys tuning in. This is the Buffalo Fanatics. This is day 3, man. This is where people say that if you're a GM, this is where you make your money, right? This is where you have to now, your guys, your team, your squad, your scouts have to do their homework. This is where you find your gems. You got to dust off the gem, you know what I mean? And say, this is something that we can work on and mold and make sure that they're a part of this team for quite some time. So we have the 4th, the 5th, 2 6th, and a 7. All right. Do you see any potential trade-ups happening from Mr. Bean? Because there's no trade-ups thus far, and he's been known to trade up early, and right now he's done nothing. Do you see anything happening?
It depends. It really does, because he shocked me not making any moves yesterday, to be honest with you. And I joked with you. I said I bet any money that in his post conference he would say that we tried to trade up because AJ Epinesa was sticking out on our board. He didn't say that. He said no, we didn't even think about it. We liked our board the way it was, and we just sat there, which is very not something you're used to from Brandon Beane this early in the stages of this team building. I think I thought he was going to get there, but I thought next year was the year he was going to get there as we got closer to having to pay Josh Allen. It appears that he's here this year. There are some guys, somebody just mentioned KJ Hill in the comment section.
Yeah.
KJ Hill is one of those few players that a lot of people were expecting to go on day 2. John Simpson, the offensive lineman from Clemson, another day 2 guy. So between Simpson, Hill are the 2 names sticking out on my list here of guys that I think Brandon Beane would want to trade up for if they stay in place. Antonio Gandy Golden, because I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm looking at a long-term offensive line prospect, maybe not a starter right now, but a guy who can start to compete next year when a couple of our offensive linemen walk.
Yep.
Strong side linebacker, a guy to compete with AJ Klein and provide some depth there. And obviously the secondary and punter. But I don't know if we're going to draft the punter, but secondary, strong side linebacker, offensive line, wide receiver is I think our biggest needs. So there's not a lot of them.
Yep.
We have we have 4 picks left. I wouldn't be surprised if we only use 3 of them, maybe trade up once.
And that's the thing, right? Because there's only so much room and roster spots on this team that you be inclined to draft. So if you can pick up solid contributors, if you feel the solid contributors, why not take 5 guys, 6 guys instead of 7 guys on the team? So in a draft,
if the Buffalo Bills were to surprise in round 4 and make a pick that shocks all of us, your boy James Morgan is sitting out there right now. And I had a 4th round grade on James Morgan. So he's sticking out like a sore thumb to me. I know Jacob Eason's still on the board. I know Jake Fromm's still sitting on the board, but my comp to James Morgan is honestly, he's got so much Josh Allen to his game. Like, this is a guy who is an aggressive thrower of the football, a guy who has a big arm and is not afraid to use it, but sometimes that big arm gets him in trouble. Like, one of his characteristics in multiple scouting reports was on a short pass, he tries to take people's heads off. Sounds like a guy. It sounds like a guy we know, right? You know, his comp was he's got the arm to make the throws, but sometimes he tries to make throws, you know, or he's hesitant to make open window. He's hesitant to throw guys open. Sounds like a guy that we know. He's a guy who throws to the open. So, willing runner. He doesn't have the size, but a willing runner. He sounds like a guy we know.
We have been in conversation with James Morgan. I mean, if you guys have been living under a rock, I happen to have an interview with James Morgan, and there's quite a bit of a connection with James Morgan and the Bills, and that is Ken Dorsey, right? Ken Dorsey was the athletic director at FIU, if I'm saying that correctly. So that in itself is something for us to pay attention to. So we are currently have begun. The Bengals are on the clock right now. We've got several picks to go.
Somebody just said the 49ers traded for Trent Williams.
Trent Williams? No, that can't be true because you know what? We're going to have to wait for that to come in because that will be something else. That will be some news. Now, I do have to plug some things here for those that are wondering where they can get BF merch and wondering, you can see Steve is rocking that Buffalo versus Everybody sweater. Unfortunately, that one is discontinued. So that's a classic. That's hung up in the rafters, man. Bang, that's gone. A lot of folks have been wondering. They've been asking me about this sweater like crazy. So go to the BF fan shop and take a look at what you guys want. And you know what? If I should be inclined, maybe I'll give you guys a little 10% discount. What it do? So that being said, head into the chat. You're right. I want you guys to head to the Flick chat. Download the app. Is popping right now. We got over 500 members in that chat, just buzzing all day, every day. So go ahead and get in there, chop it up. Let's do big things. And then we'll go from there, man. And I'll introduce some things. So if you guys also have not downloaded the draft prospectus that my man Steve has put in, go to the website, go to the buffalofanatics.com. It's there for download. So you can go along with us right now. So I got mine cracked open right now, and I'm starting to look at certain positions that I didn't think I'd be looking at. Interior offensive lineman. Tight end is a position I'm looking at as well. Corner we haven't touched yet. So and there are still some corners that are still available that we could really use on this team. So Steve, if we are sitting at right now, and we have a very big opportunity to strike hot, where's our need? Where is the need that we need to strike right now?
A lot of people are saying Bryce Hall. A lot of people are saying cornerback. And if we took Bryce Hall, I'd be extremely pleased. But honest to goodness, I feel like the Buffalo Bills truly believe that they could reincarnate Josh Norman. I believe, if anyone, they believe that Levi Wallace is still a sturdy number 2 corner. And that they've gotten a lot out of EJ Gaines. It seems a lot of people thought, well, the Bills are just trying to cover their bases until the draft. This could very well be a situation where the Buffalo Bills really are planning on putting cornerback off until next offseason, because there's a guy sitting out there. Like, I like Bryce Hall too, but I have not seen the Buffalo Bills connected in any way, shape, or form to Bryce Hall. The only connection to the Buffalo Bills that I've seen from Bryce Hall is the fact that a lot of people in the Bills draft Twitter community like Bryce Hall, and I get it. I like him too. Injuries have dropped him back. Akeem Davis Gaither from Appalachian State, who I'm surprised is still on the board. I just read a tweet that said his knee is bone to bone, and that's the reason why he hasn't been drafted yet, and he probably won't be drafted. A guy I had a 3rd round grade on because of his play on the field probably won't be drafted at all. So who knows what's going on with Bryce Hall and his injuries that we don't know, that GMs know that we don't know. And there's a name sticking out to me right now that I can't take my eyes off of, and that's Antonio Gandy-Golden. Bills have met with him more than any other team, according to him. He is sticking out there on the board. That's the name that really stands out to me. So, and hey, as I talked about Davis Gaither and the bone to bone on the knee, he gets drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Exactly.
So,
I was about to say.
Hey, the Bengals are willing to. The Bengals have taken my 2 favorite linebackers in this draft, in Davis Gaither and Logan Wilson. So they have a weak side linebacker and they have a strong side linebacker now. So kudos to them to go with Jermaine Pratt, their middle linebacker, who I really liked last year.
to go further, the Redskins just traded with the Lions, so the Lions are now on the clock. So the Redskins just traded their pick to the Lions. Lions are now on the clock. We looked at what the Lions did in this draft thus far.
Lions could take a quarterback here. Jacob Eason reminds me a lot of Matt Stafford. Whether they want another Matt Stafford or not is to be determined. Jake Fromm, because of their Patriots connections.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, man. Listen. Let's put it this way. If you look at Matt Stafford is not a spring chicken. He's getting up there in age, and he missed a considerable amount of time last year with injury. So, and when you have guys like Driscoll as your backup coming in, it doesn't turn you on one way or the other. So, I think, it would make sense for them to grab a cornerback right now. Quarterback, excuse me. But we're gonna find out.
There are people who really wanted them to consider.
Oh, it is true.
Tua.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got to say this. Trent Williams did get traded to the 49ers.
A fifth round pick this year, and a third round pick next year.
A fifth round pick?
Yeah, fifth and a third next year. So less than they thought they'd get. Apparently, he nixed a trade to Minnesota yesterday.
Yeah, he's like, nah, don't send me there. And I wonder. Not that Minnesota's a horrible place for him to be, but you go to a contender like the damn Redskins, though. Like Trent with the Redskins with that trio of running backs in the background. With Mozart and Coleman. And then they bring on the receiver. That's gonna be nice.
They have Joe Staley, but I guess the concern is that it's the Redskins traded up.
Yeah, the Redskins traded up with.
I thought Detroit traded up. Oh, they traded with picks?
Yeah, they swapped. So they swapped spots.
This is a very Buddy Nix move here. And now Las Vegas is in the 109 spot. What is going on? There's some movements happening. There's definitely some movements happening. So as I'm looking in the comment section, I want to actually take on a lot of questions that the members are putting in there. So I got Cesar Fuentes says, what we get in Trent Murphy cap space. So if we were to cut Trent Murphy, what is it looking like? I don't have my, I'm going to open it up. It's $7 or $8 million.
Yeah, it's quite high. It's quite high.
I would assume that the Buffalo Bills are going to take Trent Murphy to trade. Here's the thing. If they're not going to, there's multiple routes the Buffalo Bills can take. One is they're going to be sort of, what's the word? Like they're going to try to build morale in the locker room by cutting him now and giving him a chance to latch on elsewhere. Yep. Maybe they'll try to trade him. Or the other route is they're going to take him to training camp and they're going to let him compete. And it's all about competition and then cut him after training camp or during training camp. It's the same amount now or later. It's not like we need that $7 million this year.
No, not at all. And the another thing to look into it as well. We need 90 men. And injuries happen, so hold on to him, like you just said. Hold on to him until the really end. But do you have enough respect for him? Say, you know what, we're gonna let you go now, so you can latch onto a team. Because a lot of teams, what they do is not care and hold on to you until they don't need you anymore, and it's too late for you to latch onto another team or to at least get familiar with them.
Or according to Adam Schefter, at any time a player can get coronavirus, so you have to have good backups.
Hey, listen, man, we're in a new era, new times. So right now the Raiders pick is in. Wait. So did the Redskins just pick?
Yeah, they took Sadiq Charles.
Okay. I don't know anything about Sadiq Charles. This is where you're the man here.
I like Sadiq Charles. Don't get me wrong. I think LSU gave Joe Burrow a lot of time, but the concern I have with Sadiq Charles is his size. I believe he's 6'3", 305. I worry about him as a tackle, and then if he kicks in size, I worry if he has the play strength. So he is a good pass protector. He's left tackle only for me at this point because I don't see him having the play strength to kick inside to guard. So for me, he's a left tackle only. He does not have the size to play right tackle. A very finesse blocker, not a power blocker. So he's a guy I didn't even have on the Buffalo Bills board.
So what do you, when you say finesse blocker and a power blocker, what are the differences for those that don't understand the finesse and the power blocker?
Agility, like the elite tackles in the NFL have the ability to, when the pass rusher comes out, like mirror them, take that quick step back, have the agility, have the movement skills, have that sort of like functional athleticism to move around. Or if they're on the move and they're blocking downfield, they have that athletic ability to move down the field and block, lumber down the field.
No question.
The Buffalo Bills seem to prefer size and power to finesse. And finesse players are often in those like zone blocking schemes where they're pulling the guards a lot, things like that. The Bills like to pull their guards, but they still don't like small offensive linemen. So the Bills look for the freaks. The Bills look for Cody Ford. The guy's got a little bit of everything. But if Cody Ford is playing a guard, like Cody Ford is a pretty athletic guy for his size. He struggles at right tackle with guys on the edge. But I mean, if Cody Ford was playing guard, he'd be one of the most athletic guards in the National Football League. He'd be a guy who'd easily be able to pull and run. So that's the kind of player. Like, that's why I thought Robert Hunt was in play for the Buffalo Bills in the third round if he had slipped. I know that Kevin didn't like that pick, but Robert Hunt, my comp for Robert Hunt is Cody Ford, a big guy, a strong guy who has some athleticism to him.
So there goes guard John Simpson. So we were talking about it earlier. So John Simpson to the Raiders. So the Raiders are definitely putting some pieces around their quarterback, Nate Peterman. Just kidding. But I had to say that. They're putting pieces around Mr. Carr in order to give him weapons to get people downfield and some protection. So this Raiders, this is where we're going to see if the Raiders are a legit competitor with what they do later on in these rounds. Because the first 3 picks, I'm still baffled by 3 receivers in the first 3 picks. The first 4 picks, it's crazy to me. So Giants are on the clock right now. Now I want to mention something that's been circulating, and I hate this about draft. Somebody puts a name out there and people grab onto it, and now it's the thing, right? So right now, the popular name that's out there that people should be paying attention for the Bills, attached to the Bills, is Donovan Peoples-Jones. And Donovan Peoples-Jones gives you similar traits to Ganding Gold, AGG. So who is the better prospect and who would be the better fit for the Bills?
They're 2 completely different receivers in my opinion. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a way better athlete. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a guy who has the body of those prototypical, NFL receivers that you see on the boundary. I mean, this guy, he was a 5-star recruit. He was one of the top recruits coming out of college. And he went to Michigan, a team that's not known for their offensive explosiveness. This is a guy who returns kicks. It's a guy who returns punts. This is a guy who can high point the ball. This is a guy who's got speed downfield. Is he the most polished route runner in the world? No. Does he have the highest football IQ in the world? No. But you gotta see that this guy has the athletic ability to be a number 1 receiver in the National Football League. He had those kind of chops coming out of high school. Can you draft him in these middle rounds and turn him into that? I mean, he's had problems with concentration in college and drops, but Shea Patterson is not a very good quarterback. Jim Harbaugh runs a very I don't want to say vanilla system, but it's not the craziest. It's not the craziest of college offenses. And Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think, is flying under the radar. Would I prefer Gandy Golden? I think I would. But Donovan Peoples-Jones is one of my favorite receivers in this draft because he's something. When you draft a guy in the 4th, 5th round, he gives you return ability. He gives you athleticism. You can give him the ball on these jet sweeps like you're giving Isaiah McKenzie and all this stuff. And he's a guy that you could probably turn into, a boundary number 2, wide receiver in the National Football League. So it's worth a flyer.
I mean,
if the Bills believe it,
you're damn right. You grab what you want. So I'm looking at the draft prospectus right now, and Steve Matthews did an excellent job. For those that are not familiar with what I'm looking at, go to the BuffaloFanatics.com website, and there is the draft guide that's there. So when I look at this draft guide, I'm looking at your 4th round, and looking at the receivers specifically right now, and the secondary. You've got Ojumedio. I can't even say his name.
He got drafted.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone, right? So then I look at Tanner Muse. Tanner Muse being gone in terms of linebacker / safety. Then I go back to the receiver. You got Gandy Golden. Bolden is gone. Jefferson, Peoples-Jones, Hill is still there, still available. And then you've got Troutman, Moss, and Bryant in the end in terms of receiver stuff. So is it a smart move to go receiver next and just call it a day? Say we get our receiver now, best player available, or are we starting right now to best player available?
I think we're going to take the best player available to position of need. I mean, I like Bradley Anae is, I think, the best player on the board right now, but I don't think we're going to take another defensive end. And it's what is it? Sorry, I lost focus there. Oh, what I was going to say is Ojemudia is off the board. I had him in the 4th round. But the thing is you got to reset that board after every round. If you look back into the 3rd round, there were 4 guys I had a 3rd round grade and in the 3rd round draft board. Bryce Hall, who again, I like Bryce Hall. For all those people who are saying like Bryce Hall. I'm not deflecting. I like Bryce Hall. to me, I had a third round grade on him personally. I know medicals are a thing. It's not a shock to my system that he's sitting here in the 4th round. It's not a shock to my system that Reggie Robinson, who's a freak athlete, is sitting here in the 4th round. Amik Robertson surprises me a little bit. A lot of people had a high grade on him. He's a nickel corner, which might be dropping him a little bit. But I mean, Troy Pride from Notre Dame. You know the Bills have scouted Notre Dame. There are some DBs that the Buffalo Bills could take.
So as somebody's asking you, Jay Davis says, I like Tyler Johnson. I forgot about Moss, but Tyler Johnson, your thoughts on Tyler?
I love Tyler Johnson. I mean, he's a career sub-package wide receiver. I don't think he's ever going to be a guy who can be a number 1 or number 2 receiver in the National Football League. I just don't think he's got the ability to play on the outside, which is something you need. And I don't think he has the shiftiness to be in every down slot. So he's a career number 4 receiver. But that being said, he can be a very good career number 4 receiver because that guy can go up and he can catch a football. Like, he can high point a football. He can get open. He can jump over people. He is one of the better players at catching some of those contested catch footballs in this draft. And he mentioned Thaddeus Moss as well. I'm loving Thaddeus Moss. I think he is a perfect wide receiver for this team, or tight end for this team.
Yep.
He's a willing blocker. And he can catch those like 10 to 15-yard passes. I don't expect him to be a downfield burner. I don't expect him to be a yak guy. But, he can get open, and he can catch the ball, and he can make those.
Can you depend on him?
Oh, yeah. He's a reliable catcher of the football, and he can make contested catches in the red zone. So, perfect. I mean, the guy is a really good weapon for the LSU team in the red zone. Darnay Holmes just went off the board. I was really low on Darnay Holmes. I was not a big fan of his coming out of UCLA. I just really wasn't.
Doesn't pop to you? Nothing on.
Yeah,
nothing on
he
screen?
just didn't pop. Too inconsistent. Like, they're going to show his highlights right now and all the good things he did, but I think there was a lot more bad than good in that tape for Darnay Holmes.
No, I hear you on that one. I got to give a shout out to my guy Velo Ccom. Says, man, do I love what you guys are doing over there. Keep me so connected. I appreciate all of your hard work. Keep it up, Velo. I appreciate it, man. It's fun for us, man. It is definitely fun for us. We wouldn't do this if it wasn't fun. And the engagement that we get from you guys makes that much more fun. So I do appreciate that for sure. I appreciate the love. So the Panthers are on the clock. The Dolphins, I think did the Dolphins just make a pick? I just missed it. Things are going so quickly right now.
But they took Joshua Kelly, I think.
Joshua Kelly?
No, they took Solomon Kinley, the guard from Georgia, who I really liked for the Buffalo Bills. But I had a later round grade on him.
Who did they pick?
Solomon Kinley. He's a big boy. Solomon Kinley is. Let me look up his size. He is.
Kevin is going to lose his shit if he's seeing all this stuff happening right now.
6'3", 340. This is a big boy. So that tells me that they're going to play Matt Hennessy at center, or they're going to play Robert Hunt at right tackle. So he might not be too happy with Robert Hunt if he's their right tackle.
Oh no, there's no way Kevin's happy with this pick right now. He is probably losing his shit right now. And I've been getting a lot of messages right now of how Kevin is doing. How is Kevin? How is he doing? I'll tell you this. I haven't heard from him at all. I'm sure he's fine. I haven't heard from him. If he were to pop on here and just say, "Hey guys, I'm fine," just give me a hands up, then I'm fine. But I have no idea. I will say this though. Last night, rewatching the clip of Kevin losing his shit, I want to paint a picture for you guys that don't know what I'm talking about. At last night, Kevin, it was like a double whammy. He lost KJ Dobbins to the Ravens, and then the follow-up picked somebody I can't even remember who they picked, but he just lost his shit. So I was showing my wife the clip, and she was like, "Hold on a second. There's all these different reactions." Me, I always laugh at Kevin, so I'm like losing my shit. Steve kept his composure the whole time. How did you keep your composure? You had a straight face.
I just met Kevin recently. I didn't want to pile on.
Oh,
I didn't want him to think like I wasn't there for him, so. I mean, I didn't want to I didn't want to poke the bear, I kept my cool.
That was very respectful of you because my wife was like, "How could he keep such a straight face?" Because you were really good at keeping a straight face. My man Casey couldn't keep it together. He was just busting a gut. It was a good time. I laughed again and again. It was great. So right now the Panthers, which you feel have had one of the best drafts this year thus far. But they still have quite a few needs on there, right? Corner.
They haven't needed every position. They tore it down. They tore it down. I think that they're going to have a surprisingly good season. I could see the Carolina Panthers having sort of a No, I take it back because the NFC South is pretty loaded with Tampa and who's the other team there? New Orleans. But Joe Brady is a very innovative offensive mind. They're going to have an innovative offense with Teddy Bridgewater. They got my guy Philip Walker from the XFL, who I really like. I think Joe Brady can do some good things with him as their backup. And just what they've added on defense, like they have just – I'm trying to pull up their draft right now.
So as you pull up their draft, I'm gonna address CJ. Welcome to the Big Squad, CJ. If you want to join, it's really simple, man. Jointhefanatics.com. Just go there. You can join, become a member, and boom, you are part of the fraternity, my man. So, and if you want, and you don't have to do it at all, you can still be a supporter by just coming in and chopping it up with us. But if you want to support, we embrace it. Come on in. I'm going to take a few more questions. Marcel Rio, what does Marcel Rio say? Says Brandon and I, Curtis Weaver, Bryce Hall, and Ben Bark are, I believe, still available. If we could, I remember you saying something to the nature of we wouldn't go another lineman. I mean, although when you look at the depth on the team, it would make no sense to go with another lineman. But Bradley and I like a lot, man. And I wouldn't be mad if we grabbed Bradley and I would not. But it just would not make sense. So looking at Curtis Weaver, why is Curtis Weaver dropping? I thought he was supposed to go higher than what it is.
I didn't even have Curtis Weaver on my board, to be honest with you. He just hasn't impressed me. Like he doesn't do anything that stands off the tape for me. I know that other people like him. A lot of people say he's a better fit in a 34 defense. Let me pull up my notes on. I literally have spent very little time.
Go ahead, man. Pull up your notes.
I just don't. I'm not a big fan of Curtis Weaver, so. Give me a second to just refresh. But
listen, refresh, pull up your notes. I'm actually going to address a few people. So right now, the Panthers have taken Troy Pride Jr. at cornerback from Notre Dame. So they're bolstering their defense. And for those that are asking about Kevin, like I said, I haven't talked to Kevin, so I'm sure he'll be fine. But somebody said that Kevin is punching air right now, and the scene that pops into my head is Boys in the Hood. For those that are too young, you guys are not going to know about this, but when Troy was mad that his boy got shot and he punched in the air. That's what I see Kevin doing right now. For those that know about Boys in the Hood, you guys don't know. If you guys don't know, then don't even bother with it. Don't even bother with it. Abby, what does Abby got to say? Abby says that it will be interesting with an extra team in the playoffs next season. It will absolutely be interesting, Abby. I'm glad you brought that up because now we go from 6 teams to 7 teams from each conference. So here's the deal. When some people want to say, "But man, this waters things down. This is some BS, this, that, and the third." But there are times where you have a team that had a winning record, but based on the division they're from, they can't make the playoffs, right? But a team that makes it with a freaking 7-9 record makes the playoffs because they're from a weak division. So those are the things that kind of don't make sense. But I don't mind it. It just makes more ability for the Bills to make the playoff, and we keep rolling, man. So you were looking at your notes. So talk.
Yeah. So if I'm trying to piece together why Curtis Weaver is dropping, this is the first of all, he didn't work out at the combine, and so he didn't work out at the combine, and that's concerning because when you read the weaknesses of most of his of the draft reports out for him, below average body type with a soft frame. Lacks functional pursuit speed, below average athlete, has issues with balance and body control. All of these things, his strength comes into question, his athleticism comes into question. And when you're doing that and at the same time skipping the combine and then you lose your chance to work out in front of teams at a pro day, you're going to drop because there's a lot of question marks about you. So I think that probably has a lot to do with why Curtis Weaver is dropping in this draft. Is a lot of people I think are questioning sort of like his physicality and his ability to hold up in the National Football League. Yep. And he didn't have a chance to prove them wrong because he missed the combine and he didn't have a pro day.
I got a question from Tyler Sita. Tyler says, is Zach Moss on the level of Akers and Dobbins?
He was my RB5. I had him ranked ahead of Cam Akers. So in my personal rankings of running backs, I had him ahead of Cam Akers. He is Akers is definitely a better athlete than Zach Moss, but I think Zach Moss is the better football player. Yeah. And while Cam Akers could be a multi-contract running back, I think Zach Moss is just going to be a one contract running back because of the way he plays football. So in the long term, could Cam Akers have a better career, a longer career, a more successful career? Yes, but in the short term, give me Zach Moss every day, any day of the week. Like that, he's just a football player.
Matthew Ronkowski says, are the Bills going to make some trades today? And what do you think of the last night's picks? I'm glad, because that was actually what I was going to touch on as we're in commercial, and they're actually coming back right now. Actually, the Jaguars are on the clock right now, and I think a pick is coming in. But let's table that for now. I just want to see who they're picking. No, still commercial break. So picks last night for me. I'm still doing the homework. I don't want to say the homework, but I guess I got to say it this way. I'm still doing homework on Epinesa. First of all, I got to do homework on saying his damn name, and I think I got it right. Epinesa. And I'm actually starting to embrace more Zach Moss. Motor. And listen, man, I don't know about you guys, but how does this sound? Motor and Moss, Eminem, right? Those two in the background. I'm just saying, man, Eminem, Motor and Moss, Moss and Motor, however you guys want to put it out there. I think we might have a nice little double-edged sword, because now you can't have it's like a Frank Gore. Oh, we know what's happening. Everybody coming in is Frank Gore. He ain't gonna do shit for us, right? Moss can take it the distance, can take it, and is not shy from putting the damn helmet in your chest. But I like the picks thus far. And I think I'm going to fall in love with them a little bit more as we go. But you talk about it, because I know you love Zach Moss. But how do you feel about our picks last night?
Well, first of all, if you want to get to know AJ Epinesa a little bit, I was really feeling myself after the draft last night. Was laying in bed, couldn't fall asleep. So I literally just typed in AJ Epinesa into the Twitter trending topics. And I don't know why, but I retweeted about 30 tweets about AJ. Anytime someone had something good, anytime somebody had something good to say about AJ Epinesa, which there's a lot of people who had a lot of good things to say about AJ Epinesa, I just retweeted it. Like, it was me after the Cowboys Thanksgiving game. I honestly retweeted like 100 people that night. That's what I was doing for AJ Epinesa. So, I mean, a lot, like, his functional play strength is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, this guy's got some of the strongest hands in the draft. And I know a lot of people like to hate on Pro Football Focus, but Pro Football Focus analytically ranked AJ Epinesa and Zach Moss their number 2 at their positions. AJ Epinesa was their number 2 defensive end. Zach Moss was their number 2 running back. So if we want to selectively like enjoy PFF every once in a while, they had them number 2 at each.
You know what? How do you feel about PFF? Are you a fan or not a fan of?
I appreciate the analytic aspect.
Yeah.
And their biggest brag, what they like to say, is that all 32 teams pay them. That's true. All 32 teams pay them for their analytics. They don't pay them. That's pretty cool. They don't pay them for their grades, because what the teams do is the teams take those numbers, the team takes that data and frames it the way they need to frame it based on their knowledge of their team. Yeah. When PFF is grading based on Ben Barsh just went to the Jaguars, by the way. PFF is grading based on what they think a team is doing. When the team gets those numbers, they're grading on what they knew they were supposed to be doing. So
we're in an analytics like based league, man. People are all about the analytics now, so they want to see how things shake out. So then, okay, so this is the analytics. Show me now. Let me put my scouting hat on and my coaching and all that good stuff together.
And I love some of the numbers, like yards per carry after first contact. Zach Moss is number 1, with a bullet. So here's what I'll say about Zach Moss.
Before you get to Zach Moss, Leku Fotu,
one of my favorite players in this draft.
Dude, what a last name this man had. Fotu Bloodlines?
That's the Arizona Cardinals just selected Star Lodolele, but like in the 3rd round. So it's immense value. This guy is going to be, the Cardinals run a 3-4 system. So he's going to be a plug and play nose tackle right in the middle of that defense. Free Jordan Phillips up to wreak havoc on the quarterback from day one. Like if the year was 2005, not 2020, Lecky Fotu would have been a 1st round draft pick, because he's an old school football. You look at some of these guys like Shaq Quarterman from Miami, who I really like for the Buffalo Bills in the 5th, 6th round. Some of these linebackers, some of these defensive tackles, if it was 10, 15 years ago, they would have been 1st round picks. Yeah. But it's a different National Football League.
For sure. Wow. So you were talking about Moss though, Zach Moss.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's going to bring.
So everything you love about Devin Singletary, his ability to create yards out of nothing, his ability to sort of wiggle and work within the box, like when there's a tackle in front of him, juke him out and gain those yards. Zach Moss is Devin Singletary, but he's 20 pounds heavier, more powerful, and a better receiver.
See, I mean, it's funny.
That's why they're perfect. The only thing that they have in common, the only thing that neither of them have is the speed to hit the home run. Both of them are complete running backs outside of that. And Zach Moss is just a more powerful, better catching version of Devin Singletary.
See, people have heard you say this, that Zach Moss is Devin Singletary, but pretty much better. I think that's pretty much what, and I've had some people say they disagree. They feel like they're very different types of backs. And obviously they bring two elements to the game. One is more shifty, elusive, and not afraid of contact. And the other one, and like in his own words, makes you make business decisions. That's not part of Devin Singletary's game. But nonetheless, I like the stature, because I remember you like saying like 5'9", 5'10", 220. That's the type of back that you want in the backfield. And I think him coming to Buffalo in the type of grind out type of football that we play with a big 6'4", 6'5" freaking quarterback that we have, boy, it's gonna be fun to watch this offense play. Dable better not mess this up, man. And Dable better not mess this up.
I'll tell you what, it looks like somebody just took Harrison Bryant. Did the Browns take Harrison Bryant? Oh no, someone did. But the Browns just take Harrison. DJ Wonham, Ben Barch. Oh, Broncos not caught. Never mind. Sorry. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bills. This was something that has been suggested by the fans, and I kind of wrote it off because I didn't think the Bills would do it.
Are you seeing this right now? In 2016, he was 250 pounds, and he's transitioned to 3. Like,
well, did you see the shakes he was drinking at the Senior Bowl? All the things he was mixing into his shake.
No, what was he doing?
I'll have to Google it. It was pretty. He drinks a shake every single.
7 eggs, cottage cheese, grits, peanut butter, banana, Gatorade. That was him. I saw that.
That was him. Yeah, right there, right on the TV. That's his daily protein shake. That's disgusting.
That is gross. Actually, I saw him. He was talking to the lady, and she was like, "Yeah, I heard you drink your the other day." He's like, "Yeah, but seven eggs, and then on top of it, he throws it down with freaking Gatorade, bro. Boy, is nasty. Cottage cheese in that bitch. Come on now.
Oh yeah, but
so Ben Barch, what is he, a guard?
No, he's a tackle.
Oh,
he is a tackle. Yeah, he played. He started at tight end and then he moved to tackle. This guy is, he's just a freakish athlete. He's one of those guys. I zeroed in on about 4 guys. Matthew Pert, who's gone. Ben Barch, who's now gone. Alex Taylor and Cameron Clark. I zeroed in on those 4 guys. Taylor and Clark are still there, and the Bills have met with. And the Bills have still met with Cameron Clark. And I zeroed in on those 4 guys. The Buffalo Bills are 8 deep at offensive line, right? They have offensive linemen up the wazoo. All these guys have position flex, but a lot of these guys are on 1 to 2 year deals. The Bills are in a position right now with the 2 guys left on the board, Alex Taylor and Cameron Clark, that I like, to take a guy. And I created the adjective and Ike Bucker him for a year, which means just stash him at the back half of your roster and turn him into a football player. Take one of these high upside small schoolers and turn him into an absolute stud football player on the bench, because you have that luxury. You have all these veterans who aren't going to feel threatened by this guy because they're all getting paid. They all have their money. They all know the situation that they're on 1 to 2 year deals and they could just walk and go get $30 million from the New York Jets next year. No one's going to feel threatened by this kid in the room. They'll groom him. They'll help him. They'll put him in the strength room. They'll build him up. Bobby Johnson will teach him the proper technique. The Bills are in the perfect position to draft a high upside, small school offensive lineman and develop him. And that's something I would look out for somewhere in between this round and the 7th round.
And it's not a bad way to do it now. I've got Scott Blakely mentioning that he says there's no better complementary backs together than Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. I'm actually excited to see that tandem work together. And the crazy thing is, you had Devin Singletary was pretty much on the freaking hip of Frank Gore all year long. So you know that he soaked up a lot of information. So now you're going into year 2 with information that you got from a GOAT in freaking Frank Gore. Now you got Zach Moss. That's going to be, on the second. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun year. This is going to be a fun year.
Did you see those Devin Singletary workout videos he posted on Twitter last night?
No, I didn't see any.
So I think Devin Singletary was feeling a little underappreciated by the Bills Mafia. So he posted some workout videos last night. There was no parks, no gyms were open. So he was like on a highway. You know how some highways are like elevated and there's like a hill on the side? He was doing cone drills up the hill stopping at the guardrail of the highway.
Yo, the boy's trying to show that he's he ain't playing this year, man.
Yeah. I mean, and a bunch of people in Bills Mafia were posting like, reactions like, if I was doing that drill, just do it one time, I wouldn't be able to walk for a week. I mean, that guy's he's got running backs. It's underappreciated that the leg muscles on those guys. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Bro, man, I'm telling you right now, the running back position is I have a bias towards running back because I played running back all my life when I played, right? So I have a bias, and I love the running back position, and we are underappreciated. And I say we because I'm still a damn running back at heart. We are underappreciated. We pass block. We catch the ball out of backfield. We got to freaking get in line, and we have to use our vision. We have every trait. We have to throw the damn ball sometimes. We have to do it all, right? Underappreciated. Oh, running backs are a dime a dozen. Boy, stop. Y'all better stop playing with the running back position, man. We are the ones that really carry the damn team. Obviously, the quarterback is the most important position. But if you ain't got no run game, guess what? Your team is going to suffer. You need to take the pressure off. And that's just my opinion. First of all, I'm a little passionate about it. But I do have to ask you this, though, because you're out in Arizona.
Yeah.
Phoenix, should I say. Are you in Phoenix?
I used to live in Tempe, and now I'm in actually Peoria, which is a suburb of Phoenix. I'm about 35 minutes outside of Phoenix.
Okay. So you are in Arizona Cardinals country, first of all. How long are you born and raised?
No, I actually lived in Buffalo, New York. I was born on Grand Island. I grew up in Buffalo, New York for the first 25 years of my life. I just moved 4 years ago for work.
Oh, okay. So you know the Bills very well, but you also know the Cardinals very well, and you hear Cardinals radio all day.
Oh, yeah.
Do you somewhat root for them somewhat, or not even?
Since I've gotten engaged to a woman with a brother and a father that are Cardinal season ticket holders, they've grown on me. They're what's good for me is they're an NFC team, so it's right. Doesn't hurt me to root for them. I'm not going to buy. Like, I'm one of those people where, like, there are people who can be hardcore Bills fans and buy jerseys of another team. Like, I really like this player, so I'm going to buy the jersey. I don't play those games. I don't do that.
You don't do that?
Like, I don't. No. You will never catch me dead in a piece of memorabilia that's not a Buffalo Bill. I'll wear a Diamondback shirt. I will wear a Phoenix Suns shirt. You won't catch me. You will not catch me in a Coyotes anything, and you will not catch me in Cardinals anything.
Listen, if you like a player, you're going to rock that jersey. Like for instance,
not if he's not a Buffalo Bill.
I absolutely love Lamar Jackson. I would wear a Lamar Jackson jersey, not because I F with the Ravens, it's because I like the player.
Sorry,
I like the player. You can't do it, huh?
I can't walk around having people think that I'm not a fan of the Buffalo Bills. Like my air conditioning is out right now.
My buck out.
First 100-degree day of the year here in Arizona, my air conditioning goes out. So I'm sitting with a fan blowing in my face right now. I went to Walmart yesterday to buy that fan, and I was wearing that red Buffalo Bills t-shirt. And I'm in the aisle in the middle of Peoria, Arizona, and I'm reaching for a fan, and the worker who's stocking the shelves on the other end of the aisle goes, "Nice shirt, bro." And I go, "Oh, Bills Mafia?" He goes, "Hell yeah, I'm Bills Mafia." Every time I wear a Buffalo Bills shirt, I go out with a Buffalo Bills shirt once a week, and swear, hand to God, every single time I go out, I will have people yelling at me from 50 yards away in the grocery store, "Bills Mafia!" Like in the middle of Arizona. I had a guy, I was walking in the bottom floor of a mall, and he was in the upper half of the mall, and he just yelled down to me, "Bills Mafia," in the middle of Arizona. Like it's crazy. It's insane. They're everywhere.
I will say this though. It is a conversation piece. You wear anything Buffalo, like they will talk about it because two I guess schools of thought is, I'm so sorry that you're a Bills fan, right? My condolences. Go fuck yourself. First of all, that's number one. Or number two is you have someone that's like, what? Another Bills fan? This is amazing. Let's talk about it. Here's something that does bug me. I don't know about you guys, I don't know about you guys, but somebody asked me, Rico, would you wear a Gronk jersey? Hell no. Anything from the Patriots, I ain't never wearing. But I will say a quick story though. What I do dislike very much, very high, is when someone tells me, "Oh man, I'm a diehard Bills fan." Excellent. I'm cool with that. Right. I never try to bring conversation up because I just don't want to get into it. But then they say, like, what do you think? How do you feel about our draft? Or how do you feel? And when we start talking and they know nothing and they start talking about players that were on the team years ago, but they still think they're on the team now, I'm done. We can't talk anymore. Don't tell me your diehard feel.
You just described a Cowboys fan.
I can't stand that shit. When they say I'm a diehard and they can't even have a damn conversation with you, you tripping. And for those that are thinking I'm tripping that I would wear another man's jersey, you're damn right I would. I would damn well do it. If I like you and I fuck with you and you're a player that I really respect, I will rock your jersey because I'm supporting the player, not the damn team, the player. But I will never rock a Boston Celtics jersey. I will never rock a Patriots jersey. I will never rock a Jets jersey. Anything in the AFC East it's not happening. Not happening.
It's funny because like those like sort of like fake fans that you're talking about, like the guys who just don't even know what they're talking about. I was a Bills season ticket holder for 15 years before I moved out here, and one year, I'm giving my cousin all the credit for this. We had some beverages and we were really feeling ourselves over in the parking lot, and we decided to play a nice little game with the Patriots fans, and we walked around the parking lot and with some beers. And we offered a Patriots fan. We said, listen, we will give you this beer. We will give you this beer for free or $5. Like I think at one point I opened up my wallet and I said, I'll give you $5 right now if you can name me 3 New England Patriots who played on the team before the year 1995, not named Steve Grogan. And the number of people who couldn't do it was absolutely insane.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So you're absolutely right when you mention that. Chris says I have a Ray Lewis jersey, a Fitzgerald jersey, but I'm a still diehard Bills fan. I don't wear those jerseys. I hang up on the wall. I respect it. I respect it, man. I have a Doug Williams jersey. You guys might not even know who the hell Doug Williams is, but I got a Redskins Doug Williams jersey hanging upstairs, and sometimes I'll bust that shit out and I wear it. Why? The significance to that bitch, right? I still got my Marshawn Lynch jersey. I'm still keeping that bitch. I got an OJ Simpson jersey. I got some classics, man. Some classics. So we've been chatting, and this draft has been going along. And I apologize to the people, but we're just having a good old time right now. Michael Walker.
Yeah.
Linebacker. How do you feel about that one?
He's a weak side linebacker. He's a good player. He's a little undersized, but that's sort of what Atlanta likes. They run a cover 2 defense, so he's a perfect fit there. The Jets took my favorite player, one of my favorite players in this draft. I have a lot of favorite players in this draft, but I got about 20. I got about 25 guys that I've really fallen in love with in this pre-draft process, and LaMichael Pirine one of them. I mean, he's nothing special, but my description for LaMichael Pirine is he can do a little bit of everything, good but nothing great, and he'll be the perfect number 2 running back in the National Football League. So I mean, he's just a perfect running back to come in and spell Le'Veon Bell. LaMichael Pirine is a great football player at running back. He's sort of like if we would have drafted him, he would have been number 3 behind Yeldon and Singletary, but he would have been like a hell of a number 3 running back.
You mentioned the fact that because I saw somebody had a question for you and it updated and it just went by me. So and I really wanted to ask that question. But so you have been mentioning Michael Pirine for I've heard you mention it a lot. And LaMichael Pirine, excuse me. Is if we didn't pick up Moss, would Pirine have been a guy that you would have been happy with if we went with him?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with LaMichael Pirine, though. I would have been happy with him as a player, but he isn't the talent that Zach Moss is. He is a straight up clear cut. Devin Singletary is running back 1. He's your workhorse. LaMichael Pirine is your running back 2. A guy who comes on to play special teams, comes onto the football field, doesn't embarrass himself. You know, that's LaMichael Pirine compared to Devin Singletary. He's not a game-breaking talent. He does everything good. He'll make plays for you, but he's not going to be a workhorse. He's going to be your clear-cut. He'll be a clear-cut running back 2 in the National Football League for a long time. Zach Moss is a 1B to Devin Singletary's 1A, or flip it. You know, they're 1A, 1B. LaMichael Pirine is a clear-cut number 2. So that's the difference between – and that's the difference once Cam Akers went off the board. You know, Cam Akers was my RB6.
Yep.
So and Moss was my RB5. A lot of people flipped that and had Moss. Once Moss and Akers were off, you said goodbye to your 1A, 1B theories for the Buffalo Bills.
No, I hear
because
that.
even Darrington Evans is a number 2 back because he's a specialty back. He's a speed guy. So he's only on the field in certain situations. So once the Akers and the Taylors and the Dobbins and the Zach Moss was the last one of the world left the draft board, you're now looking for niche backs.
So I have Havana SCP says, by the way, you heard our GM tried to trade up for a few spots for Moss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't surprise me at all.
You're doing a trade up for Moss though?
Because just as I mentioned, he was the last running back. He was the last running back on the board that you could literally look at and say, okay, there's a workhorse. Okay, there's a true equal to Devin Singletary. Not a number 2, but an equal. Yeah. So he was the last one on the board.
Speaking of Moss, there's a few people that are, and I don't like that people say that. And I want to get your opinion on this. When they mention, hold on a second, well, Colts killed the draft getting Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. Damn, I just noticed that. Yeah, man. Pierre's just noticing that the Colts have Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. That's what I was getting. I was like, we were losing our shit when that happened, man. Where the hell you been? So one thing that I'm noticing that a lot of people notice is that are mentioning is that when a player gets drafted by said team, i.e. Zach Moss, they think that the person's gonna jump up and woo and jump up, but they saw he was very calm and just like this. Automatic. Oh, he hates it. He doesn't want to be part of it. Look, he's not even excited. What are your thoughts on fans that feel that way when there's no excitement at home when the cameras are on them? Are you like part of the people that are like, oh, he doesn't want to be here, or are you like, come on, guys, knock it off?
No, it depends on the situation. I'm with people like when Stephon Gilmore was drafted.
I remember that
his ass didn't want to be here. Like, I'm sorry, there's no fit. His ass did not want to be in Buffalo.
You know what though?
I mean, like.
I questioned that one a lot.
Yeah,
with Gilmore.
But for the rest of the guys, like you could say the same thing about AJ Epinesa. And I mean, these guys have been working a really, really, really long time to get to this point, to get this opportunity. They're surrounded by families. There's a camera in their face. There's lighting fixtures. They're sweating. They probably feel really uncomfortable. A lot of these guys are let them process in their own way. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. I honestly don't even like the fact that cameras are on players during the draft. Like, I'm not a big fan of it.
That? No. Yes, I've heard you say this. You'd rather them show the film, show the statistics, show all that stuff. Forget about the family stuff. But this is TV. I know. You want to feel that you are with these guys, right? It's an amazing time.
What I truly want, and I can't believe they haven't done.
Listen to the Colts.
Yeah, wow, that's a good pickup for them. Phillip Rivers will be a nice mentor for him, but the Colts are killing this draft, by the way. Colts are
looking good, man. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, you got Jacob Eason, Phillip Rivers, and you have Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett, yeah.
Yo,
I believe Brissett's expiring though. I think he signed a 2-year deal.
They signed him a 2-year, like a $30 million a year, or something of that nature. But he's getting a raw deal, man. Like, you brought him in to be that guy. He didn't have a horrible year, and then you bring in the aging Phillip Rivers. Oh, what a slap in the face! I think Rivers is done, first of all, and then you bring him back. Oh, I'm not feeling that one. So I'm looking at some of the questions. Felix De Leon says Epinesa was upset he wasn't taken in the first round. I mean, there's a lot of emotions going through these players' mind, right? You got your agent on the phone saying, "Okay, this team's going to call you. They're doing this. Get ready." Because I've asked these players that are being drafted and what it's like, and he's like, "We're constantly on the phone. Someone's telling me that this is going to happen. Someone's telling me this. Then you're looking at Twitter. Then you're doing this. Then you have your family members. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's so much things going on, and then when the camera's on you, forgive me if I'm not freaking." Thrilled, because I thought I was going in round 1 or round 2, and I'm sitting here in round 4. I just want to get to fucking work and be happy and grind it out. That's what I think. That's what they're in their mind. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, I muted my TV on accident. Trying to turn the closed captioning on my TV. I have no idea how to do it.
Brissett is about to go to the Patriots. You think they'd take him back to the Patriots? I mean, I can see it.
Somebody said it.
Yeah, somebody said Brissett's going to go back to the Patriots. I don't know about that.
I don't know if they could even fit that contract on their books.
So Jeremy Cargazar, I think that's what it says. Yeah, Cargazar wants to know, who are we picking with the 4th? Our 4th round pick. Who do you think we're picking?
Right now, The only name, there's two names that stick out to me the most. The Buffalo Bills have had communication with, and I'll throw a third name in there, even though I think it's a round too early. Gandy Golden and KJ Hill, two completely opposite receivers. Bills have had communication with both. KJ Hill is Cole Beasley, and that's why I don't really understand why the Bills were even talking to him. Cole Beasley isn't the type of player you bring a guy behind Cole Beasley to groom. Cole Beasley is the kind of guy when he's gone, you replace him because you only want one of those guys in the roster because they don't really give you much else than that. So
I agree.
KJ, if Cole Beasley announced his retirement right now and we drafted KJ Hill, I'd be happy. But if Cole Beasley had left in free agency and we drafted KJ Hill, I'd be ecstatic. But I just don't want two of those guys on my team. But the Bills have met with him. They met with him in the combine. Gandy Golden sticks out like a sore thumb. And you know what? High upside offensive lineman. It's a round too rich for my blood, but Cameron Clark from Charlotte.
Cameron Clark. Okay, I like that. We do have some breaking news, though. Remember how we were talking about Joe Staley? He's actually set to retire, which makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely no reason. Yeah, absolutely no reason why the San Francisco 49ers would trade for Trent Williams unless this was happening. They had no need to give up that draft capital, and they honestly had no need for Trent Williams if Joe Staley wasn't retiring.
So the Steelers the Steelers are on the clock right now, so that leaves the Bills a few picks away. We are
KJ Hill is off the board. Who took KJ Hill? I missed that.
We've been doing a lot of talking, so we must have missed that one. That must have been
on day 2?
No, he didn't go on day 2. Did he?
No.
Where did he go? If he went on day 2, where did he go? So what team in the AFC? So who's asking that question? I got my guy Pierre. Says, what team in the AFC East minus the Bills had the best draft? And that goes to everybody. Who had the best draft minus the Bills in the AFC? I think I'm going to go to the Jets right now. Like off the cuff, I'd say Jets so far. But, I mean, the draft ain't over yet. But right now, the Jets are the team that stands out to me as the team that's had a decent draft thus far. And just let me recap on what the Jets have done, just to kind of give you guys an idea. So far, let my other computer.
They've had a great draft.
The Jets?
Ooh, yeah, that's a nice draft.
Do you have it? If you have it,
yeah, right in front of me. Yeah, Mekhi Becton. So they've gotten their left tackle of the future.
Yep.
Denzel Mims. They get a size speed receiver. He's probably going to take him a couple years to develop, but they got a guy like Rashad Perriman to carry some weight. Ashton Davis is a safety I really like, a center field safety, which is honestly allows Jamal Adams, if he's still on the team, to play a little bit more towards the line of scrimmage and sort of a hybrid role.
Yeah, so they have Marcus May,
mm-hmm.
Jamal Adams, and you bring on another safety?
Well, first of all, who knows the future of Jamal Adams? So even if Jamal Adams only has 1 year left, Ashton Davis is a good guy to have on board. And I'll say this, when I was thinking about what the Bills were going to do in the second round and a lot of safeties were dropping to the Buffalo Bills, I had some time to process about this philosophy. And I mean, think about if the Bills would have drafted Antoine Winfield Jr. in the second round. Picture that for a second. And picture the fact that Antoine Winfield Jr., Jordan Poyer, and Micah Hyde are all on the field at the same time. And they're moving around pre-snap, confusing the hell out of a quarterback. Who's going to blitz? Who's going to drop to center field? Who's going to cover the tight end man-to-man? You never know because they're moving around so much and they're confusing you. So this is something the Jets can utilize. Put all 3 guys in the field, move them around pre-snap, confuse the shit out of a quarterback. Like, that's something that they can do. Jabari Zuniga is a really powerful defensive lineman, defensive end. Some people think that maybe he's a defensive tackle, so he fits perfectly into Greg Williams' 3-4 scheme as sort of the edge in a 34. And like I said, Michael Piron is just a workhorse number 2 running back, clear-cut number 2 behind Le'Veon Bell, won't fumble, won't embarrass himself, can catch the ball out of the backfield. So they're having I'll give Joe Douglas some credit. They're having a really good draft.
Joe Douglas had no choice but to have a good draft this year.
I can't wait to watch Adam Gase ruin all of these players.
Adam Gase, man. He's one of those. I've been hearing my man Kevin talk about Adam Gase for quite some time now. And Adam Gase is not a bad coach. He's got a bit of arrogance to him. And just doesn't respect the run game. Like Le'Veon Bell going over there, I was like, oh no, not Le'Veon Bell, right? But like you see what Adam Gase ruined Le'Veon Bell. He ruined Jay Ajayi. Who else did he not? Like he ruined freaking what's my guy Kenyon Drake? Like, come on, man! Like you have good freaking runners and you don't take advantage of that. Like, how could you not?
Reggie Robinson just went to the Cowboys. So that's another guy off the board for the Bills.
Corner?
Yeah, Tulsa, great athlete. McFarland just went to the Steelers. I was actually going to bring that up earlier.
What? Talk to me.
Where a lot of people had mock drafts earlier on in this offseason where they had the Buffalo Bills adding 2 running backs. And that's something I kind of dismissed and didn't want to consider because I really wanted one of those guys that I talked about at the top of the draft, Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor, all those guys, a 1A to a 1B. I'm more of a fan of just having 2 guys rotate in and out. But Brian Daboll does come from New England. And he does come from places where they are used to a stable of running backs. So if the Buffalo Bills were to make a play for a running back towards the end of this draft, there are a couple of speed-specific running backs that we could add. Javon Leake from Maryland is one of my favorites, and Javon Leake gives you some good kick and punt return ability. J.J. Taylor out of the University of Arizona, small dude, 5'6", 170. Yeah. Tyler Huntley from New Mexico State, another guy who's really small. Raymond Clays from the University of Louisiana. There are some smaller scat running backs with some speed that really could interest the Buffalo Bills late. I was going to mention Anthony McFarland if he really wanted to go crazy and draft 2 running backs in the middle rounds, but McFarland just went to the Steelers.
So the McFarland, I like McFarland, and I think that he vastly hasn't been talked about, I don't think, and I think he's going to make a huge difference with the Steelers, especially behind Connors. I think they have another really good back with the Steelers. I can't remember who they are, who the other back is, but Benny Snell. Oh, and I love out of Kentucky.
Yeah,
I love Snell coming out last year. So, that's a nice stable of running backs, man. From McFarland, Snell, and you got they'll play games, man. Don't play games. So right now it looks as though AGG might fall to the Bills.
Yeah.
If AGG falls to the Bills are having quite a draft.
The Jets are on the clock. The Jets could add another receiver. The Rams added a receiver. Philly could add another receiver. So I'm not going to anoint Antonio Golden on the board, but I think it would be the Jets or the Eagles. If it's not their top priority, but each of those 2 teams could add a wide receiver. I mean, hell, the Baltimore Ravens drafted J.K. Dobbins in round 2. So at this point, you're taking what you think is the best player available. So
so that should be an interesting plan. So right now, based on what looking at the draft guide that Steve put together in terms of available players, so we know that Simpson is gone, Muse is gone. Gandy Golden's still on there. Jefferson, is that Van Jefferson that you have on?
Yeah, he's gone.
Where did Van Jefferson go?
He went to the Rams in the second round.
That's right.
I thought of Van Jefferson personally as a second, third round receiver, but I put him on the board in the Bills in the 4th round because I thought maybe injuries could slip him. He had that foot injury, but it didn't hurt him in this process at all.
Not at all. I mean, and going to the Rams in a McVay offense, I think it's going to be good. But see, Cooper Kupp, I saw him more of as a slot receiver. So does Van Jefferson now go outside and they're forcing him outside? That's what I'm actually interested in seeing how that works out.
Yeah, I can see it for a team like the Rams. I could see him playing on the outside with some of the route concepts that they run. But somebody mentioned in the comments Hunter Bryant. I don't like Hunter Bryant personally. I'm not a big fan of Hunter Bryant. But what I will say about Hunter Bryant is he fits the mold of the tight ends that the Buffalo Bills visited. Okay. The Buffalo Bills didn't visit with the Tyler Crofts and the Dawson Knoxes of the world. The 2 tight ends that the Bills were linked to in the pre-draft process were Josiah DeGuara and Dalton Keene, 2 H-backs, guys who play tight end, fullback, can move around like chess pieces. Why I preferred DeGuara and the Jets took James Morgan.
The Jets. Oh, didn't see that coming.
But why I preferred DeGuara and Keene to Hunter Bryant is because I think they're more physical, they're more aggressive, and I think Hunter Bryant is kind of soft, and I don't like that from my tight end, even if he is a move tight end. I think he's a little soft. He's injury prone. I think he bails out on some routes when he sees guys coming over the middle. I don't like that from my tight end, but he's got to catch the ball and run. He's an athlete, so Hunter Bryant honestly could be in play. Harrison Bryant reminds me a lot of Tyler Kroft. He's also in play from Florida Atlantic.
Very interesting that James Morgan went to the damn Jets. By the way, before I even get into that,
they don't have a backup.
shout out to everybody in this bitch. There's 577 people watching right now. By all means, share this and tune in with us, man, because we're gonna be talking about all things Bills, all things interesting on this live broadcast. So shout out to each and every one of you guys. Smash that like button real quick. It doesn't take you long. If you're on your mobile, just bang, hit that shit. If you're on a laptop, turn around, lift the elbow, and smash that shit on the like button. That's it, man. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, man. So give your boys some love. My man Steve is holding it down. Hit that website, www. I always do this to myself. www. Who does that shit? BuffaloFanatics.com. Hit that bitch right now. The prospectus is there. The guide is there. Join us, man. Let's talk about it right here, right now. Secondly, get on that app. Download that app right now. It's the Flick Chat. The Flick Chat right now, we've got over 500 people in that thing. We just launched 2 days ago. There's 500 people in that bitch. We talking everything. We're doing giveaways. Everything is in that. The podcast network is in there. The Bills guys have a. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk about it. Steve, talk on the Bills guys podcast. What do you guys hit? What do you guys talk about?
We're really big, especially in the offseason, on roster construction and roster management. Like that's my passion. I think it's Dave's passion as well. We love. Like you're not going to hear more specific and in-depth conversations about like roster management and team building than you will from Dave and myself. We'll spend entire podcasts on like one roster position. Like, hey, well, we're just going to talk about what the Buffalo Bills situation at linebacker should look like, and we're not just talking about this year or this draft. Like we project into the future. Whose guys' contracts are up? Who are guys who need some competition? Like right now, one of my biggest takeaways. And I think we're going to see it on draft day today is I think the Bills need to add one more linebacker and a guy who has strong side linebacker, inside linebacker flex. And The reason why I think they need to do that is because I think that Voshon Joseph needs to dedicate all his time to playing behind Matt Milano, to hedge your bets with Matt Milano on the weak side. And I think we need a guy to back up Tremaine Edmonds. And I think we need a guy who we can groom to one day replace AJ Klein. What better way to do that than now? And the two prospects the Bills have really been honing in on are Shaquille Quarterman from Miami and Chris Orr from Wisconsin. So keep those two names in mind. I don't think they're fourth-round picks, but as the draft progresses, the Houston Texans traded up?
Oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. So Houston Texans, when I look at what they have at receivers, they got
Brandon Cooks,
Kenny Stills, and Will Fuller. QT. I like QT. I like him too a lot.
Yeah, they're going. What have they taken so far?
So as you look into that, I'm going to look into the list to see what we got. People asking questions here. I've got Jeremy Kozigar says the Bills are back. They're dangerous now. We got exactly what we needed. DE and another role running back. Let's do it. By the way, we've got 624 people watching in this bitch. Let's go. Bing, biggity, bing. People been asking me to say that all day. I've been saving it. I busted it out for y'all. I busted it out. If you guys are tuned in for the first time, man, this is the Buffalo Fanatics. This is the Buffalo Fanatics. We are out here putting out work and doing this for fun, man. We love this. My man Steve is with me, killing it. He's been doing a fantastic job. I got to give a shout out to Dave Tilton, man. Tilton is rocking it right now for us right now for covering on Twitter. The whole squad, we're putting in pieces together. Listen, man, it's a movement. It's a movement, people, and we are thankful that you guys are here for the journey and doing it with us, man. This is fun. Wait till the season starts. Y'all know I get in my bag when the season starts, man. After the game, the post-game press. Ooh, wait. Let's go. You got me excited. So the Eagles right now are on the clock. What did the Dallas Cowboys do?
Yeah, Houston
Gallimore, Reggie Robinson. Let me tell you,
Charlie Heck. Houston take a tackle.
We're about to find out. Talk to me about Neville Gallimore. Are you familiar with Neville Gallimore?
Yeah, 3 technique, really athletic for his size. I liked him. He was a good pick for where did he go? Dallas?
He went to Dallas, yep.
Dallas is killing him, man. Like I really like Dallas. Dallas has taken the best player available, I think, that fit it, that with the exception of CeeDee Lamb, that fits a need. Like they've taken Gallimore, they got CeeDee Lamb, and who they get in the middle the second round from Alabama, they got Trayvon Diggs. They're getting a lot of high ceiling players.
Like someone said, man, the second round has been quite interesting because there are a lot of talent from the first round that dropped to the second round. So a lot of the talent has been dropping. So we could get some pretty guys. There's some good talent up in this fourth, and we are pick away.
Yeah, so and the pick is in apparently.
People, We've got 637 people. Let's get this shit up to 700 people. Let's go. We got 600 people. Tell me right now who the Bills are picking right this second. Timestamp that bitch. All right. Timestamp it. We're just over an hour in here. Timestamp it. Who are the Bills picking with this pick? With the what do we pick at 128? 128. Yep. Who are we picking? Let's go.
I'm gonna have to cover the. I'm gonna have to go into the host chat again so I don't see it. Yeah, I think I'm a little lagged here.
I'm blocking it too because I'm lagged as well. So I'm gonna watch like everybody else. Sorry, folks, if you guys are gonna try to ruin it for me and Steve. One of these for you guys.
Bills are on the clock. The pick is in for the Eagles. Are they stop? Is Goodell's done, right? Like he was trash last night.
Yo, you were trashing Goodell yesterday.
He was slurring his words on his closing statements. He was slurring. He literally was slurring his words. I mean, whether he was just overtired or hammered, I don't know. But he was straight up. He couldn't even complete a sentence.
But keep in mind, normally he only does one round and he's done, right?
Yeah. Oh, Eagles took Kavon Wallace. I like him as a nickel safety tweener. Nice. That's a good pick for them. But he's actually a player I added to my board overnight because I did some reassessing on him and I added him as a hybrid. Once Tanner Muse went off the board and all those hybrids went off the board, I went back and I relooked at some prospects and I tried to think to myself like who could play this hybrid role that seems like the Buffalo Bills are looking for and who could be tied to the Bills, and Kavon Wallace was the name I came up with. If I had to bet, if I was a bet man, I'd say it's Gandy Golden right now. I know a lot of people are going to say Bryce Hall, but Gandy Golden is a guy the Buffalo Bills have been linked to. So
did they go Bryce Hall? But because I feel they need a corner. And when you look at the depth of receiver right now and the depth of corner, it's hard to pass on that. But if they like Chris Williams enough, then they may pass on that. So I'm gonna stick to corner because I'm trying to play devil's advocate. You're going receiver. I'm gonna go corner. We're gonna see how it goes down. And right now we got a lot of love being shown to us. Joe Murphy says, "Y'all doing a great job. Thanks for doing this. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in." So right now the Bills are on the clock. They haven't made a pick yet, so nobody can ruin it for us. So y'all don't do that. If you know the pick, just chill, just relax.
They're on the clock. They've been on the clock a long time here.
Maybe they don't know what the hell they want to do.
Most team picks are in by now.
No, they don't know what they're battling between Bryce Hall and AGG.
I'll tell you what, the Bills haven't been linked to him, but Troy Dye is sitting on the board right now.
Troy Dye, I have no idea who Troy Dye is.
I'm personally not a fan, but he could come in and he's a rangy linebacker. What I don't like about Troy Dye is for as big as he is, I don't like his play strength. He's the kind of guy who needs a lot of big boys in front of him because I don't think he's going to work his way through a lot of guys. So I'm not a big fan of Troy Dye, but some people are really high on Troy Dye.
Quick question for you. By the way, there's 676 people. Let's get this up to 700 people. Let's go. If before the pick gets in, a pick that would throw everybody off. If they're not picking corner, they're not picking receiver, what would they have to pick right now to be like, ooh, I did not see that coming? What would it be? To me, it'd be another defensive end. If they went DE again, I'd be like, whoa.
I think if they reached for a strong side linebacker, because I don't think the value's there, they took a Shaq Quarterman here in round 4. I think it'd be a round 2 early. I think the only position that would shock me right now is that the Buffalo Bills took a quarterback, to be honest with you. A quarterback or another, I mean, you already took defensive end, so I'm not going to say that. A defensive tackle would shock me. Anything along the defensive line and a quarterback at this point would shock, or a kicker or a punter. But they have been on the clock a really long time.
We have been on the clock. Maybe him and McDermott are fighting. By the way, we're at 700 people. Can we get it to 8? Man, let's pump it. Let's get it to 750.
Pick is
700 members. Pick is in.
Pick is in.
Him and McDermott battling. They're like, yo, I want this guy. I want this guy. Man, bitch, shut your ass up. I'm gonna take this guy. And I guess you know what? He hung up on him. McDermott got hung up on him.
Brandon Bean pulled a Jerry Jones.
So the pick is in. Who we picking? Actually, I gotta close the chat so nobody can fuck with me. Ain't happening.
Pick is in. Let's see. Gabe Davis. He was on my list, baby. Third round. Look at my prospectus on the third round. This, guys, listen right here. Listen right now. This is an exceptional pick for the Buffalo Bills. This is a big receiver who can also, his ability to catch the ball in the secondary is ridiculous at the second level. This is a big receiver who is also a threat down the football field. You should be excited about Gabriel Davis. He has gone under the radar. That is a great – I've been on the Gabriel Davis train for a while now. I've tweeted about him a couple. I'm going to pull up some old tweets from about 3-4 weeks ago. When I put Gabriel Davis in a mock about 3 weeks ago. So Gabriel Davis is a great pick. You should be excited about this pick, Bills Mafia. Trust me.
So let me tell you, some people are talking about who the F is that, right? That's a lot of that. There's going to be a whole bunch of that. There's going to be like Gabriel Davis. Why? You
6'2", 220, ran a 4.5 40. All right. This is a guy who is, he's going to score touchdowns. He's going to score touchdowns down the field. This is a great number 4 receiver. When the Buffalo Bills go into 4 receiver sets, this is going to be a very good receiver that you're going to be excited about.
So my man's who said that? Beast Mode says, man, we could have traded back, man. We could have traded back and still got his ass. So I guess they didn't like AGG enough.
I had a third round grade on Gabriel Davis. This could honestly just be a situation where he was sticking out on the board. You know what I mean? Like, I had a third round grade on Gabriel Davis.
So Havana SCP says, listen, man, Rico, most just want a flashy name. It's true. And here's the thing I love about Bills fans is you guys know how I do. They start crying, right? Because they don't know who this person is in that third. Then they start doing the YouTube, right? Gabriel Davis, right?
You're going to like what you see. You're going to like what you see.
They're going to start, oh, shit, this is Gabriel Davis. And most people say, what do they always say to you guys? Trust the process, right? Has Bean ever steered us wrong in who he's chosen, except for when he took freaking Zay Jones? That was an awful pick, right? But I made myself get excited for it, right? 400 receptions in college, So I'm thinking, okay, let's do this. So Gabe Davis in the 4th round, shit. And to me, I've always said it. Your first round pick is your pillar. This is for the OGs that know this. When I used to do the BSN, right? The Buffalo Sports Network, when we had that radio station, it was a short stint, but it was fun as hell. So I had a breakdown on what the picks meant to each franchise. So your first round pick was your pillar. That was your franchise changing player. Your second round pick is your starter. You can plug him in right away and let's go. Your third round pick is your guy that's going to compete. He's going to compete with another guy, and you don't know. He's just going to be a backup, or he's going to overtake that spot, right? Zach Moss with Devin Singletary, right? You've got Epinesa taking over who? He's gonna plug somewhere unless they get rid of Murphy. If they don't, I'll be surprised. So the 4th round is developmental, but he's got promise. That's your Gabriel Davis. And I don't even know the man. I'm just giving you guys a breakdown of what these rounds mean. So your 4th round is your developmental player. He's got something in him, but we're about to find out. Would you agree with that assessment, sir?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a guy who, one of his strengths is that, he's got 5'4" speed or 4.5 speed, but he's 6'2", 220. And one of his strengths is he's really good at stacking cornerbacks down the field when he's running vertical routes, which means despite the fact, like some of these other guys, the Colin Johnsons of the world, some of these bigger wide receivers, they just lumber down the field. They're striders. This guy isn't a strider. He's really good at running routes down the field to get open. He's got size. He's got speed. He's a willing blocker with that frame. So I had a higher grade on Gabriel Davis than I did Antonio Gandy Golden. I had zeroed in on Gandy Golden because of my perceived Bills insight and love for Gandy Golden. Davis is a better player than Antonio Gandy Golden. You should be happier that the Buffalo Bills took Gabriel Davis than they did in Antonio Gandy Golden. I was saying Antonio Gandy Golden because that's what I thought Brandon Beane wanted. Turns out Brandon Beane wanted a player that I think is better, and I think most people would agree. If you go to any scouting website, Gabriel Davis has a higher grade than Antonio Gandy Golden. Now, website.
This makes me a little sad at the same time that we grabbed Gabriel Davis. Would you like to take a guess as to why this saddens me that we picked Gabriel Davis? Because Duke Williams is now on the bubble.
Okay.
Duke is on the bubble, man.
But not even remotely the same receiver. Gandy Gold was more of a threat to Duke Williams than Gabriel Davis is. Gabriel Davis is size speed. Duke is all size. They do similar things, but Duke Williams is probably a better contested catch receiver than Gabriel Davis. If anything, who knows whether this will happen or not. Okay. But if the Buffalo Bills feel like getting a little creative on offense, I can see them maybe transitioning Duke Williams to a sort of like hybrid tight endish role, kind of like what Trey Burton did in Philadelphia, where, you know, he's a willing blocker, play him close to the line of scrimmage, but not on the line of scrimmage, big slot type of guy. I mean, who knows? Maybe he can, take a roster spot if like a Tommy Sweeney can beat Lee Smith out. We don't have to keep as many tight ends.
Now, I will say this, and this is where this saddens me again. So let's just say we do that, because I'm all for keeping talent on this team. And if you can transition them and move them to another position and they can be an asset, let's do it. The pick is in for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, what ends up happening is if he transitions to a tight end / H-back or whatever you want to call it, then that bumps somebody from the tight end room. And I believe that becomes Jason Kroom. And I was looking high. I had high hopes for Jason Kroom to come back, at least compete. So if that transition happens, man, this is going to be an interesting offseason.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I'm going to just leave it at that.
I like Duke Williams more than I like Jason Kroom. I think Jason Kroom is the kind of guy who like finds some space, gets open, can deliver you some yak. Duke Williams is a guy who can catch the ball when he's covered. Right. So I think there's a distinct difference between the two players, and I'd prefer to have a Duke Williams on my team than a Jason Kroom. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Me and Dave were having a conversation on the Bills Guys podcast. If Tommy Sweeney can beat out Lee Smith, could that open the door for a Jason Kroom, or could that open the door for a seventh receiver? If the Bills drafted an H-back, could that open the door for a Jason Kroom or a seventh receiver? And that could have kicked a Patrick DeMarco off the roster.
Okay, so that could kick off Patrick DeMarco, or when watch how the movements happen. So I thought that it was going to hinder the position of Duke Williams with Gabe coming to the squad. So now that you mentioned something to me, Robert Foster was our 6'2" speed guy. So guess what? Davis comes in as the 6'2" speed guy. Foster's got to go. Ain't no room for Foster on the squad, and I don't care. And this is I'm going to tie that into special teams. But you know what? We can put him on special teams. Bitch, Wade can take over special teams, or get downfield. Ooh,
Taiwan Jones.
Taiwan Jones is there too. Golly,
if Taiwan Jones can gun, and you don't need, or even if EJ Gaines can take over in the nickel. That frees up Saran Neal. That frees up Dean Marlowe to gun. Sure. So Saran Neal is a pretty good gunner as well. So it was Neal and Foster. It could be Neal and Jones now. And who knows? We could add another player in the secondary in these middle rounds here.
This is an interesting pick.
There is a YouTube video going out where they have the caption photo is Gabriel Davis next to OBJ. It's not because of their play on the field. It is because of their hair. They both have similar haircuts, but he gives you speed and physicality, which is what Odell Beckham gives you, speed and physicality. So I can get with it in that sense. But yeah, Robert Foster I think has more to worry about than Duke Williams does at this point. With you're spot on there, especially if they can find someone else to gun on special teams. Gabriel Davis is that blend of size and speed, and it was a great pickup for the Buffalo Bills. He was the highest receiver on my board.
I like that. So I'm actually in the middle of writing down the receivers that we have on our squad, right? So Diggs, Brown, Beasley. Okay. So there's your big three. You don't draft a fourth rounder to cut him. So I'm going to put Davis right now. So there's your 4. Then you got Roberts. There's your 5th. That's your return man. Right. So then you've got who else we got on the squad? Duke Williams. You got Duke. Then you got McKenzie. Who am I missing here? Foster. So we got 7 receivers right there. Am I doing my math right? We got 8 receivers right there. Yo, we can't carry all those cats. We cannot carry all the cats.
Oh, no.
So
I think Isaiah McKenzie's done, to be honest with you.
So McKenzie's gone, and I think Foster's gone. That has to happen. And they're going to have to compete, but I just can't see these guys staying. I think Duke outlasts both these cats. I think we've given enough opportunity to Foster, especially in his first year. We thought he was going to really do it. People were talking about him as number one, receiver one. He's a receiver one. Oh my God. Lay off the crack, first and foremost. A crack. Lay off that shit. And now he's on the bubble, ready to be bounced out of Buffalo. Golly, how this league moves so quickly.
And what I really like about Gabriel Davis too is the fact that, he's more than just like a big slot guy. It is a guy where, he's going to come in as your fourth receiver.
Yeah.
But 2 years from now, when John Brown's contract is up, he can legitimately be your number two receiver. He can legitimately be that guy. And then you'll still have Diggs and Davis, and then go find yourself a slot guy. I mean, Peppa Chlorine right now is saying Davis, Brown, Beasley, Diggs. 3 years ago, our starting outside receivers were Andre Holmes and Kelvin Benjamin. So, we had Jeremy Curley on this roster at one point. So, be excited.
Jeremy Curley cut. I actually like Jeremy Curley, but we cut him.
I thought he would have been perfect for the XFL. He must just be done with football.
Mike Trotter says, cut Andre Roberts. He didn't do back. He didn't do back on returns and is always hurt. I don't know about all that. Listen, first of all, Andre Roberts.
Went to Pro Bowl.
I know. Like, what are you tripping, boy? Mike Trotter, you tripping, boy? Pick yourself up. Number one, Roberts is a Pro Bowler. Number two, he was always like, I always felt that, man, he's going to break one. And he was always so damn close to breaking one. He never gave us where you'd be like, oh, why is he in the game? It was never ever like that. When he's returning, there's always hope. That's what you want with a return guy. Now, is he getting a little older? Absolutely. He's definitely getting a little older. But I mean, I'm saying, man, I might be tripping, but Roberts ain't going nowhere. I think he stays. But unless we draft another guy that's simply there to return, which I doubt is going to happen, we're going to find out. Alton Venezuela says, Deuces Duke, y'all overhype him too much. Yo, you better watch your mouth, Alton. Watch your damn mouth.
I don't know if it's he was the only wide receiver on this roster that really had an ability to go up and make a contested catch. So I don't know if it's so much as overhyping, just as in it was the style of receiver that we wanted on this team for a quarterback like Josh Allen. We saw in the Houston game that he's capable of making those tight window throws, and we wanted a guy who could probably do it at a better level than Duke Williams. So until we go out and get a guy who could do it at a better level than Duke Williams, I think we're going to love Duke Williams. Duke Williams has his warts. He dropped some balls.
Yes, so did everybody else.
Yeah, and the question you can ask yourself is, if he was playing all 16 games in the regular season, would he have dropped those balls in the playoffs? If he was more comfortable, more confident, would he have dropped those balls in the playoffs? So you can improve upon Duke Williams, but Gabriel Davis isn't improving upon Duke Williams. It's finding a better wide receiver, but not finding a better contested ball catcher.
For sure. And my guy Scott Blakely says, hey, what did Bean say? We need to score more points, period. And that's what it is, right? So that's what it's looking like right now as to the move we made. So on offense, we got Diggs. We bring in a Gabriel Davis. So we've got some speed. We got some size. We've got route running ability in Cole and Diggs. And then we've got over-the-top speed in John Brown. So now what does it all come down to, people? We've been saying it for so long, man. We've got the weapons. Now it's about execution. But execution from who? Who? I'm not going to say it, but y'all already know what I'm talking about, man. You guys already know what I'm talking about. Doyle Fry says, I don't see McKenzie getting cut. Oh, really? This is interesting. I don't see McKenzie getting cut. I think Williams and Foster get cut. McKenzie was really good on the gadget plays and has more to offer on special teams than both those guys. Very interesting. So he says
McKenzie offer on special teams other than fumbling the ball when he's asked to kick or punt. Like, legit. Like, he's too small to gun. He's too small to play on any of those units. The only thing Isaiah McKenzie can do is return the ball. And when Andre Roberts was hurt, Sean McDermott didn't trust Isaiah McKenzie to return kicks or punts. He put Micah Hyde back there. Newsflash, Micah Hyde isn't a punt returner. He's a punt catcher. He's just there to catch the ball, to wave his hand and catch it. That's all he's there to do. Absolutely. So Sean McDermott has absolutely no faith in Isaiah McKenzie as a return man. Yep. So I have it right now. Diggs as your 1, Brown as your 2, Beasley as your 3, Davis as your 4. I have Duke as your 5 and Roberts as your 6. And here's what I'm going to say. I can easily get with the whole gadget thing and replace Williams with McKenzie, but I think it's down to Williams and McKenzie. But if you're looking to replace that gadget, that jet sweep guy, why not use Diggs and Brown in that situation? Those guys are both guys. I mean, I know you might not want to. I know you might not want to risk them to injuries, but I think that Diggs and Brown are both fully capable of executing those same gadget plays that Isaiah McKenzie did.
1,000%. By the way, shout out to each and every one of you guys. There's 794 people in this bitch. Let's get this thing up to 850. Yo, I'd lose my shit. You know what? If we get to 1,000 views, 1,000 people watching right now, I'm giving away a sweater. I'm giving away a sweater today, or a t-shirt, or whatever the hell you choose. I'll pick a name in the chat, and then we go from there. Yo, let's get to 1,000 views, man. By the way, if you guys are new to this channel, this is the Buffalo Fanatics. We've got a lot of Bills content on this channel, and I got to give a shout out to each and every other Bills creator. There's a lot of content creators that are out there. There's no hate coming from Buffalo Fanatics, because we do this for fun, and there's a whole lot of content that's out there. So don't feel that you have to, choose one or the other. They're different. They give different perspective, different content. Yo, pick who you want. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we just reached over 800 views right now. Let's continue to get these followers and these subscribers up, and let's get 1,000 views right now. Let's get 1,000 people watching right now as we go. So the Steelers are on the clock right now. Who the hell cares what they do? But I'm a little upset that they got Chase Claypool, because I kind of envisioned Chase Claypool.
Ooh, Cameron Clark went to the Jets.
Damn it.
Next pick.
The Jets are putting something together. The Jets are putting something together.
Troy Dye went to the Vikings. There's some picks coming off the board here.
Oh, here we go. So
I hate Seattle's draft. Seattle's having an awful draft.
But they always do that. They don't draft well enough for the quarterback, because Russell Wilson always bails them out. He's just that special. Could you imagine if they put real good talent around that dude? Those Seahawks would be something special, man. Pierre says, I think we keep 7 receivers instead of 6 receivers. So if we as a group, hold on, how come you're the only one that likes to come down here while Daddy's doing stuff? Like you don't know what I'm talking about. So 7 receivers.
Yeah, the same thing as you.
Yes, he does. That's Steve. Can you say hello to Steve?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So Daddy's busy, so we're gonna talk soon, and we'll ride bikes after. Okay. Cool.
Right. We're right at the school.
Okay, we'll ride at the school. So 7 receivers being kept. So that means we keep 7 receivers. That's one less lineman, one less tight end.
Mm-hmm.
We keeping 7 receivers?
Yeah. I mean, I can picture it, but the thing is the roster.
McKenzie will be the 7th.
The roster sizes have changed. We got 55 now instead of 53.
You're right.
But the game day roster hasn't changed, I don't believe. So the question is, you can have more, you just can't play more. So this could be an opportunity for the Buffalo Bills to maybe play the matchup game, maybe keep Duke Williams and Isaiah McKenzie, and depending on the opponent, activate that player. So
absolutely,
you get 55 players on the roster now, not 53. But I don't think they actually changed the active game day players. I think it's still 46.
Is this the 46? I wonder.
I think it's still 46. It might be 48. It might be 48.
I think they moved it up. I think they like ever since that we're going to 7 guys to the playoffs. I think they moved up the roster spots as well. But we'll have to look into that. Kevin Dotson, guard, Louisiana.
Oh, he was on my list too.
Yep, he's gone to the Steelers. So the Rams are on the clock right now.
Yeah, a lot of the offensive linemen that I had linked up. Every offensive lineman I had linked to the Bills. Dotson and Clark were my two guys. I had a 5th round grade on Clark, and I had a 6th round grade on Dotson. The only offensive lineman that I know of that the Buffalo Bills have met with that is left is Kelvin Throckmorton, and he's not a high upside guy. He's more of a Ryan Bates, Ike Butker, versatile career backup type. The only high upside offensive lineman that I really love left in this draft is Alex Taylor from South Carolina State, 6'9", 315. But the Bills have not had any communication with him. He was at the Senior Bowl. The Bills do like their Senior Bowl guys, but that's the only high upside offensive line. At this point, there are really no offensive linemen I like. There are a lot of good backups. Driscoll from Auburn, Shane Lemieux. Shane Lemieux is really powerful, and the Bills really like Oregon linemen. I know that they were in on Tyrell Crosby last year, and they've met with Calvin Throckmorton. So Shane Lemieux is a name that you can keep.
Shane Lemieux.
Yeah, and
he's got a French name, so I think I might mess with that.
Pierre with an interesting take. You can still take Gandy Gold in the 5th round. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So why would you want to take Gandy Gold in the 5th round?
Why? He gives you that. He gives you that contested catch high point. He gives you the actual true competition to Duke Williams. He gives you that trait. Gabe Davis is more of a ball tracker than to go up and get it. Like, he's a guy who's really good at when a deep ball is thrown. He understands where to move his body to get underneath it. But he's not so much a jump over a guy and catch it.
So Wayman Brown brings this up. It's quite interesting. He says Robert Foster is a Seattle type receiver. And I'm not necessarily looking at the Seattle type receiver, but now that we've brought someone similar to what Foster brings in Davis, does he have enough value that we can put him on the trade block?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so at all. I think he's a guy that teams will just be like, all right, the Bills are going to cut him. We'll wait till the end of training camp.
And
I mean, this guy was
very likely.
This guy was a UDFA, and it's not like when we traded what's his name to Carolina. It's not an offensive lineman. You know, wide receivers are back half of the roster. Wide receivers are a dime a dozen. I mean, you're not going to trade a back half of the roster offensive lineman if he's got some playing experience and won't embarrass himself. That's one thing. You can get a 6th or 7th round pick. We traded Russell Bodine for a 6th round pick, for crying out loud. But wide receivers, no. You could pick up a wide receiver off the street that'll give you what Robert Foster did.
And that's facts. That's facts. So the roster has been actually upped from 46 to 48.
Awesome.
So we definitely will have that.
7 wide receivers is a distinct possibility, especially if Buffalo wants to be a pass first team. I mean, if Buffalo wants to be a pass first team, if Buffalo wants to be the team that subs in and out their wide receiver, but here is another issue. I remember last year, Brian Dable really wanted to be a guy who subbed in and out players a lot. Subbed in wide receivers, subbed them out. And the Bills stopped doing that because they wanted less confusion for Josh Allen. They wanted to simplify things for Josh Allen so he would feel more comfortable and confident. So unless the Buffalo Bills feel like, you know, mentally Josh Allen is prepared to have guys coming in and out of the lineup, how flexible can you be? How flexible can you be with how many wide receivers you can take?
For sure. So people are starting to really embrace this Gabriel Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabriel Davis is a touchdown machine.
That's what he had five games last year where he had multiple touchdowns in a game.
What? 5 games?
Yeah,
really?
They're showing his clips right now on ESPN if you want to check it out.
About time, for freak's sake. Oh, on ESPN. Okay,
they are well behind. But see, look at his and notice how he catches that football. He doesn't catch it in his chest. He is very good. He's very good at catching the ball with his hands. Yep. His arms are always outstretched when he's catching that football. He's catching nothing in his chest.
This is going to be interesting, man. So when you look at this draft thus far, Epinesa,
it is a great draft. It's
Moss, and Davis. Shit.
Other teams will get more credit than the Buffalo Bills because they were picking higher and had more volume. But you know, pound for pound, with the picks the Bills are making, they're having one of the best drafts of any team in the National Football League.
Oh, there's no question about it.
They don't have the volume, but the value they're getting at every pick is insane. Zach Moss, if it wasn't for a knee injury, is a 2nd-round pick. AJ Epinesa is a 1st-round pick that teams were definitely overthinking because of his combine. And Gabriel Davis was a 3rd-round pick who has the ability to play probably like a 2nd-round pick if you can get it all out of him. So the Buffalo Bills have legitimately drafted a player around below where I personally think they should have gone at every single pick.
So my guy Scott Blakely says, "Rise up, Bills Mafia, man! This is a great draft. It's a good time to be Bills fan." Scott Blakely, I appreciate that. Salute to you, my G. Jeff King, another one, says, "I gotta admit, after watching highlights all morning, I'm liking these picks thus far. Trust the process." Yes, Jeff King, man, that's where it's at right now. So my man Bean McDermott they've created something in Buffalo for fans to really embrace and respect, because too often, I mean, let's talk about it, because I can say this: when you're a Bills fan, all we got was, "Oh, my condolences, I'm so sorry, you guys haven't won shit, 4 straight Super Bowls," you know, the jokes that get old, they get played out. Now we could legitimately say, hey, we've been to the playoffs twice now, so let's cut the bullshit. Now we flipped that page. We don't have that stigma is gone now. I've been saying this like all year, and we ain't the same old Bills. the SOBs. We're not the same old Bills, man. We've changed we've flipped a page, right? So I think that we're going to be a team to be reckoned with for some time now. And if we continue to have this culture in Buffalo and these talented players come to Buffalo and really make a difference, this could be for a long time, man. But it all falls down on one player.
Somebody in the comments said you just described Stefon Diggs with Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis has a lot of traits that are similar to Stefon Diggs. The hands catching, the tracking the ball down the field, the stacking cornerbacks vertically. He does a lot of things well that Stefon Diggs does well. The one thing I will say is he's not nearly as crisp of a route runner in the short field, and he's not going to get himself open like a Stefon Diggs. Could possibly being on a team with a Stefon Diggs and learning from a Stefon Diggs develop that within him? Possibly, but that's just me crossing my fingers and hoping. But that doesn't mean that Gabriel Davis, without developing that in his game, doesn't mean he's a bad wide receiver at all. Like I'm trying to think of a receiver in the National Football League I can comp to Gabe Davis.
Well, you can do that.
To think about it.
Yeah, do your thing, because my man Brody Brown says, Steve, you have done a killer job with a prospectus. Damn right. It's about time Steve is getting some love, man. That boy put a lot of work into that.
Did I know I personally like Gabe Davis. Did I like him personally enough to put him into did I actually have him in the prospectus on the value chart? Yes.
Somebody calling you up? Let's take a look at it.
No, I had him in the 3rd round, right behind Brian Edwards.
Yeah.
And above T. Higgins, by the way.
Yeah, you had Gabriel. Yeah, you did. So that's a 3rd round talent that we got in the 4th. So you can't go wrong with that. But here's a question for you. Where he was at, why in the 3rd? Could he not have been a second-day player?
He could have been a second-day player. I think some of it is just the number of wide receivers available, the sheer number of volume of receivers in this year's draft, and the other is that he comes from a smaller program at UCF. I shouldn't say smaller because they played a lot of games on the national stage, and he is a guy, which is weird. He is a guy that's known to, if he's not the primary target on the play, to take play off. He is a guy who will take some plays off. But Sean McDermott at the combine, Sean McDermott made a comment to Peter Schrager when he was being interviewed on Good Morning Football. He said, when you come to Buffalo, you become the best version of yourself, not just on the football field, but as a human being. And that quote really stuck out to me. And Brandon Beane has said things like, we're not looking for choir boys. We're looking for football players. And it's Stefon Diggs. He said Stefon Diggs might not be a choir boy, but he's got football character. And they're looking for guys with football character. So maybe they feel like Gabriel Davis, for his immense talent, he takes plays off. They can get him into this culture here in Buffalo and sort of, get that mindset out of him and really change his mindset and develop him as not just a football player, but a human being. Change that mindset, get him to respect that process and change some of those habits on the football field, possibly.
So I have my guy Christopher McLeese says AJ. There's 2 things. AJ Epinesa. I keep messing this man's name up. I'll get it right at one point. So AJ Epinesa is JJ Watt. Watch the tape. Agree, disagree?
I disagree.
I'm going to follow that up with something.
He has some similar traits in that he's very powerful. He has some similar traits in that he's very long and he's very thick. But I think that what sets AJ Epinesa and JJ Watt apart is JJ Watt has some bend and some sort of ability to his game, some flexibility to his game. Epinesa is more stiff than a JJ. What makes JJ Watt exceptional is that JJ Watt is very bendy and very agile for a guy of his size. AJ Epinesa, while he can do some of the things that JJ Watt does with that power, is never going to have that bend, is never going to have that sort of agility.
Okay, so because I'm following that up because I think my man Bobby made this comparison. Bunkner, Braxton Bunkner, he says that those two, it's a very good because Bunkner can play inside and outside, and that's what AJ brings. So would you say that's a closer comp than to JJ Watt?
We're getting there. We're getting in range. I think Buckner and Armstead, who's the other guy that San Francisco took with a similar build, more athletic, just more like just sheer athleticism. AJ Epinesa was available to the Buffalo Bills at 54, legitimately, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, because he had a poor combine.
Absolutely,
people are afraid of him. But that doesn't mean he can't be a good football player. And that's the same with Zach Moss. Is people were scared because he ran a 4.7 40. Oh, I didn't like his combine numbers. It scared me. Like the Buffalo Bills just drafted 2 guys where they drafted them because of their combines. And that doesn't really matter to me because they're both really good football players. Are they going to be future Hall of Famers? No. But they're going to come in here and they're going to play a significant role on pushing this team to the playoffs.
You're damn right. Elvis Sypic says, Rico, stop hating on Josh Allen. Oh, my gosh. Elvis, is this thing on? There is immense pressure on Allen. I don't care what you think. It's the facts because we've now given him 2 straight running backs. You got Stephon Diggs. You got John Brown, Cole Beasley. You got an offensive line that's damn well decent, if above average. I'll say above average. Who the hell you think it falls on if we don't have success? Who the hell you think is throwing the damn rock? Is Josh Allen. So the pressure's on. It's not hate. Come on, man. Y'all got to get rid of that nonsense, man. Stop being soft. Stop being soft, man. Call it for what it is. By the way, I got to say that I really like your hat, Steve.
That's thank you. Yeah, when I was in Buffalo last summer, I went to the I had never been, so I went to the actual New Era headquarters and I got this hat.
Yo, that's a dope hat. I like it. It's fresh. It is fresh. So
I've been into the flap rims lately. My fiance hates it. She thinks I look like a child, but
the flapper is where it's at, man. You can't have the dad hat.
But the thing is,
to the store, sure.
I got too fat of a head to wear a hat backwards, and I like to wear my hat backwards all the time. And she's like, "You can't do that."
No,
she's like, she'll be honest with me. She's like, "Dude, your head's too round. You can't wear a hat backwards."
You know what? You want a lady that keeps it real with you and tells you what it is. You know? I got Keenan. Who's that? Oh, Keegan Callahan. Callahan says, he's just giving a donation. Keenan, I appreciate that. Keegan. Who do we have down? Because somebody had a really good question, and the chat sometimes rolls real quick.
Oh yeah, Jeremy just said time for more protection for Josh. I'm going to disagree because of the way the board is falling. So unless the Bills have a love for my man Alex Taylor, some of my favorites in this draft, Cameron Clark, Ben Barch, Matthew Pert, Kevin Dotson, they're flying off the board. I'm at the point now where I'm honing in on Shaquille Quarterman in the 5th round. The strong side linebacker from University of Miami. That's the guy who I'm honing in on in the 5th round. I was honing in on Cameron Clark, and I've shifted my philosophy to Shaq Quarterman now. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I did my draft prospectus a little differently this year. I didn't put my own spin to it. I pretty much put a projection of one side and what I thought the Bills were going to do on the other side. So there were a lot of names that I don't have in front of me. I'm sure I could look at a list if I could pull one up and find some names I like.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that out.
And I will, at some point. But I'm not a big fan. I got my binder here. If I can pull the. This is the Kuiper in me.
I like that. So as you do that,
Prince Tekawungo is still on the board from Auburn. There must be a medical or something with him.
There's always something, or they just don't like him. Keegan says, our roster. What's Keegan saying? He says, "Oh, don't go away." So he says our roster is going to be tough to make for guys this year. And geez, the chat is going so damn fast. I missed it, Keegan. But anyway, our roster is going to be tougher for guys to make the. Can't even read today, man. What's going on? Our roster is going to be tough to make for these guys in rounds 5 through 7. I expect the last picks to be. I'm going to assume you're saying to be traded up, or guys that are just going to be depth and special teams. So I think that's what you're saying, Keegan. You're absolutely right. Or we might even see the Bills trade up. So accumulate this a 7th and a 6th, or both 7 and 2 6s, and move up and try to and get in here. But I mean, we're already in the 5th round, so the 4th round. What are we? We're in the 5th round, 6th round.
140. We're still in round 4. Yeah,
we're still in round 4. So you can see maybe we can try to trade back into the 4th. You just never know, because Bean is usually a guy that does that, and the fact that he's done nothing thus far in terms of trading. Maybe he's just ready to chill, man. He's just letting the board fall to him.
I'll tell you what. I really like this Raiders draft. I know some people are going to hate on the 3 wide receivers. I really like what the Raiders are doing. They just took Amik Robertson from Louisiana Tech. I like the players. It's going to be interesting to see how that coaching staff fits them in. But I mean, if you look at it, I'm going to pull up the Raiders draft right now.
Yeah.
If you pull up Owen's draft, I was looking in the O's, and they're supposed to be looking. They got Henry Ruggs, who's got that speed on the outside. You got Brian Edwards, who's going to work the middle of the field. and sort of be a physical receiver, a physical presence. And then you have Lynn Bowden, who's going to be your souped up gadget guy, a souped up version of Isaiah McKenzie, a guy who can come in and maybe play that wildcat like we were talking about. So you have 3 receivers who all do different things. The concern that you're going to have is 3 rookie receivers on the field at the same time. But you still got Tyreek Williams there. You still got Hunter Renfrow there. So you have a really good stable of wide receivers there to sort of try to bail out Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. Damon Arnett was one of my favorite players in this draft. Pound for pound, you're not going to find a better football player in the secondary. He is a physical, aggressive. He plays really good man-to-man defense. Tanner Muse is a just do it all. He can play weak side linebacker. He can play nickel corner. He can play center field. He can play box safety. He can play special teams. This is a guy who may run. Yeah, he may never be a household name in terms of a playmaking like NFL player, but he's going to fill like legitimately 6 positions for you. So he's going to allow you to keep other players at other positions. And then John Simpson is going to be a plug-and-play guard if they want him to be. If not, he will be within a year or two. Big guy would be able to push people around in the run game. And then Amik Robertson is a really physical nickelback. Think Teron Johnson that doesn't get hurt and probably better than Teron Johnson. So they're adding some pieces. Do they still need maybe some star players? Yeah. But I really like what Mike Mayock and John Gruden got going down there in Oakland.
CD Daz 23 says, Rico, this dude outclassing you on the mic. Hey, that's okay. I'm not the draft guy. This is why we build the team to have guys that do different things, man. I'm not there for the draft. I'm just here to provide the platform for my man Steve to shine, man. This is his thing, man. So listen, that's what it's about. So Steve, you doing a hell of a job, man. They're loving you, boy. They're loving you. I did have someone mention something earlier. I got to try to scroll up to see it. And where was it that I saw it? I apologize. I'm going to try to see if I can find it. Oh, yes. Somebody mentioned the punter that we should. I brought this up because
Quarterman just went
to Miami.
To the Jaguars.
Was it the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Oh, that was okay. I thought I saw Miami there. Man, Kevin's got to be shitting himself right now. I wonder what he's up to. Quarterman gone. So does that do anything for you? Are you like, okay, so what are we going now? Because Quarterman would have been someone that you would have wanted on the Bills. Now that Quarterman's gone, where do we go?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to leave my comfort zone because we're running low on names I have highlighted. The John Pennicini, the defensive tackle from Utah, is sticking out on the board to me. Javelin Guidry, the nickel corner / safety from Utah, is sticking out to me. Maybe they reach for a Chris Orr, the strong side linebacker from Wisconsin. Who knows? We're in the point of the draft where teams value what they value. I have a 7th round grade on Chris Orr, but I really like Chris Orr. Gandy Golden, Calvin Throckmorton, Shane Lemieux. I really like Antoine Brooks from Maryland. That dude can lay some thunder from the safety position. But we're starting to get into my personal opinion more so than what I think is going to happen. For sure. I can share my personal opinion all day, but I try to be as accurate as possible. That's what I think the Bills are going to do. Yeah.
You want to, because and I'll tell you, I'll be very real. That's the point of Buffalo Fanatics. We don't cookie cut. You got to give the facts, but you got to give your own opinion, right? That's what makes a difference. So your opinion matters, man. So what you want and what you what you would want to do, man, share that shit. You got to hold back.
There are two linebackers that I really love that are sticking out. Justin Strand from Wake Forest, who I think would be a 2nd round pick if it wasn't for a bicep injury. And Marcus Bailey from Purdue, who's a strong side linebacker who can run sideline to sideline and just absolutely lay the lumber. So Marcus Bailey and Justin Strand are sticking out like a sore thumb on the board for me from Purdue and Wake Forest, respectfully.
It is very interesting that
Bryce Hall's still on the board.
I'm just saying, right? We haven't touched corner. I was about to say it's very interesting that we haven't touched corner.
It has to be a medical, in my opinion.
Oh man, like Bryce Hall still left on the board. Like, what is going on? So, I'm trying to see.
This is sort of
when this is gonna shake out.
This is sort of the thing. Like sometimes I feel like Rain Man in this pre-draft process, right? Because I'm looking at all these different websites when I was trying to create my board,
right?
My projected board, and on all of the scouting heavy websites, the guys who are scout, tape. Bryce Hall was a 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounder.
Yep.
But then you head over to Pro Football Network and you have insiders, guys with inside information, legitimate inside sources like Benjamin Albright and Tony Pauline. Bryce Hall was a 6th rounder. That tells me that Tony Pauline, right? That tells me that Tony Pauline and Benjamin Albright probably know something, probably medically, that other people don't about Bryce Hall. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could probably split the difference here and call Bryce Hall somewhere probably in the 4th to 6th round. It'll probably come off the board somewhere, or 4th or 5th round. But yeah, I mean, Pro Football Network had a 6th round grade on Bryce Hall.
Thaddeus Moss still on the board.
Love Thaddeus Moss.
Nye still on the board. I'm only going to use TDN as my source because that's where I mainly stuck and did my looking up players, because I'm just like a lot of you guys looking players and don't know who they are, so you got to do your information. He was always in, between the 1st and 3rd round, and Anai still on the board. What has caused my man? If it's not injury, is it a matter of just limitations? He's just limited.
Yeah. So the thing that I love about Bradley Anai, and it kind of goes with Zach Moss, and it kind of goes with AJ Epinesa, is they're just football players. People are overthinking it with Bradley Anai. Bradley Anai has a very, very low floor.
Okay.
A very high floor and a very low ceiling. Bradley Anai he's not some guy you're going to draft and turn into a future Pro Bowler. He is legitimately what you see in Bradley Anai in college is what you're going to get in the NFL. He's not some physical freak who's going to get to the NFL and change, but he comes with a bevy of pass rush moves. He's not the stoutest against the run because of his physical limitations, so that could be slipping him as well. He's a very finesse pass rusher. He's got a ton of moves in his arsenal. He's going to get to the quarterback. My comp for Bradley Anai is another guy who went very late in the draft and had a very successful NFL career, is now currently a member of the Buffalo Bills. My comp for Bradley Anai is Mario Addison. So a guy people are going to overthink the hell out of Bradley Anai, but they're going to get a hell of a football player at some point in this draft.
That is actually an interesting comp right now, because right now
Yanni Golden's off the board, by the way, to the Redskins.
Yeah, I saw that. Here's the deal. We've got 5, 6, 6, and 7. All right. We're not going to pick 4 damn guys, right? So it only makes sense if we're going to trade up to do it now. You know what I'm saying? But I guess the question becomes, what are you trading up for that you need? Are we okay to leave the O-line the way it is? Because we brought in Darrell Williams. We got our Spain signed back. You know what I mean? The usual suspects are back. So the newest member really is Darrell Williams at right tackle. Do we need to add any more to the O-line? That's one of the questions that I'm asking everyone else that's out there. By the way, shout out to each and every one of you guys in here. There's 857 people. Like I said, if we get up to 1,000 people watching, and somebody can, and I might miss it, but if you guys tell me, there's a giveaway happening on the spot. I pick somebody right on the spot. But back to it. Who are we picking? If we trading up is one thing, but at the end of the day, like, what are you trading up for? You trading up to get a corner? Bryce Hall is how you want, and then you can say, okay, I can rest on my laurels and we're good. Or are we beefing up the O-line? Are we beefing up D-line? Those are a lot of things that we should be looking into. So I'm going to start reading some of your questions. Here's one. Here's a good one. I got Joseph Martinez. Says either trade up now or we trade away picks for next year. I don't know. Ooh, you know what? That's an idea as well, because one thing that I do know that Bean likes is having multiple picks. So if he doesn't like a whole lot of prospects that are out there right now, trading down and trading away till next year is something that I would definitely look into as well. I like that. But my guy Joseph Martinez. Looking at some more questions here. Somebody said, pick my boy Alohi Gilman.
Oh, I like that guy. You go pick. I don't have him on my projected board for the Bills, but this is a guy who would come in and would play that sort of big nickel role. I mean, this is a safety who plays near the line of scrimmage and lays some lumber. So Alohi Gilman's a heavy hitter, and he's a box safety. He's a guy who would give a guy like Saran Neal a run for his money if the Bills drafted him. Yeah,
because Zach Allen wanted you to speak about Alohi Gilman. He's like, yo, speak about Alohi Gilman. Let's talk about him. Zachary Tobolsky says that Bean is trying to work out a trade for Trent Murphy. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be interesting. That would be interesting right now. I'm trying to read. I'm scrolling up, people. I apologize because there's a whole bunch of comments coming in. Let's see what we got. So Havana says the needs that we have are cornerback. He loves Jaquan Johnson that we already have right now. Punter, is something that we should definitely look into. Maybe another very late RB, another running back. That's interesting. And to be a cheaper third RB, obviously, and someone that can play special teams. So some might say that we already have that on the roster now in Christian Wade. I keep freaking having to mention this guy, but that's just what it is. So interesting take, nonetheless. Let me scrolling up here. I appreciate that, CR. CR says, everybody share this on your social medias, man. He's trying to get that sweater. I like that. I like it. Jeremy Kogasar says, Rico, do we have all our picks next year? That is awesome if we do. To my knowledge, I believe we have all our picks next year. We haven't done anything. We manipulated the drafts the last couple of years for us to be able to do what we were able to do by getting 2 first-round picks the year that we took Josh Allen, and then having multiple picks this year. But right now, as of right now, we've got nothing, but maybe we can work something out by trading certain players that are on the team, excess players, and then accumulating trades for next year. So I could totally see something like that happening. But as of right now, we still have all our picks, my good man. No trading. See, my man, Amen Bud says, no trading, just stay patient. Stay patient, let the board fall to you, and we'll get what we need. Dash Dillinger E says, our D-line is solid, so we don't need to even touch the D-line. We good. And you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. The D-line is solid as shit. Like, if we look, I got to write, because sometimes when you say it out loud, you miss a name here and there. So when you look at our D-line, you got Jerry Hughes, you got Harrison, you got Oliver, you got Vernon, okay, you got Murphy. I'm going to put an asterisk next to Murphy. You got Addison. You got the rookie, Espinosa. And who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing anybody else. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 D linemen. We got Daryl Johnson on the squad right now. Right? That's 8 linemen right there. Who am I missing anybody? Yo, if you look at that line right now, that's a stacked line. I feel like I am missing somebody. Jefferson. Fuck, we just signed Jefferson. Holy shit. Yo, this D-line is beefed up for real. For real. We need to stop playing games, man. Yo, so we made, listen to me, folks. Now that looking at this defensive front, I still feel that we can get a corner. But when you see what is going to be coming after these quarterbacks, the corners back then may not have to cover for so long, because that ball is going to have to come out quick so we can start jumping on shit. So maybe we just feel great with what we have right now. But golly, man, Jerry Hughes, Harrison, Ed Oliver, Vernon, Murphy, Addison, Espinosa, Johnson, Jefferson. Boy, y'all better stop playing, man. That stampede is coming. We could rename that. We need to bring that shit back, man. The cold front. That cold front is coming back, man. That Bills cold front is a nasty place to be. Golly, man. Let's go. What do we got here? We got Amen Buzz says he says draft me. He says I'm 50 years old, 6'2", 225, still can dunk. What? Look at this boy. I'm gonna put in work. You putting in work, my G. Love. Oh shit, I forgot about my guy Mike Love, man. Buddy Love. Mike Love still on the roster. It's a tough one. It's a tough. That's gonna be a tough roster.
They added a guy too, Jonathan Woodard, to a futures contract that I like. He's got decent size.
Woodard. That's correct.
He's a pretty good defensive end as well. A decent lower end of the roster prospect.
You know what? I have my book here. Where's my other one? Because I wrote all our linemen. Woodard was one of them for sure.
Somebody said backup quarterback. I'm a huge fan of Anthony Gordon from Washington State University. Not the biggest arm in the world. I think he projects as a career backup because of the limitations. I mean, he's only 6'2", 205. This says an air raid quarterback, aggressive, puts nice touch on the football, leads the receivers, throws guys open. Anthony Gordon, I'm not going to call him Gardner Minshew, but he comes from that same offense. He's got that same style. I really, really like go YouTube Anthony Gordon, watch that guy sling a football. He is aggressive. Marcus Bailey.
Yeah.
Bobby talked about, I love Marcus Bailey. Big boy. He is a physical linebacker, a guy who can thump the run, but also get sideline to sideline because he's very athletic for his size. He is a guy I personally think he'd come in from day one and be a better strong side linebacker than AJ Klein. I just don't know if the Buffalo Bills feel that way. Strand and Bailey are just sticking out to me on this board. Strand from Wake Forest, a little more multidimensional, and Bailey the big guy. I believe Bailey's got some medical. I think that's the only reason he's slipping. I think there's some knee issues in his history.
I got Johnny Blaze says, Rico, when are you coming out with that Golly merch? Yo, you stupid. Golly, yo, you know what? I might put something together for that. You stupid boy. By the way, somebody mentioned that I forgot Star Lotulelei Yo, how can I forget Star Lotulelei, man? So Star Lotulelei, Mike Love, Jefferson, Johnson, Espinosa, Addison, Murphy, Vernon. Bro, that defensive line is deep. I'd love to have a Bradley and I on the squad, but that shit ain't happening, man. I think that we are set at that line, man. That is going to be something else. Golly, that's for you, boy, Johnny Blaze. Holy shit, man, yo, that's a line, man. That is a line, man. Oh man. Michelle Holman says, "Did People Jones go yet?" I don't think I saw his name go yet. So he's still available. He's still available.
I'm looking into Marcus Bailey a little bit. Didn't work out at the combine. Has 2 major knee injuries at Purdue. So that would be part of what probably is slipping him here. My guess is medicals. But I mean, above average production against the run and the pass in his time in college. Just a very instinctual linebacker. I love Marcus Bailey.
Big. You said he's a big boy. How big is he?
He's 6 foot 240.
Oh, he's heavy set.
Yeah.
Passing downs. My man Havana says Hughes, Oliver, Espinosa, and Addison coming at you live and direct from Buffalo New Era.
Don't forget Quentin Jefferson. Don't. I'm not forgetting Quentin Jefferson. No, I'm not. If you look at the analytics, the two of the top 5 interior pass rushers last year, from an analytical standpoint, were Ed Oliver and were Quentin Jefferson. So imagine those two wreaking havoc on obvious passing downs on the interior of that defensive line, with Addison and Hughes pinning their ears back and coming at the quarterback.
I'm telling you, man. NyQuil and Drews Nightmare says nightmares. It's gonna be nightmares for quarterbacks, man, because when you face that front, and it's not like it's all big boys and they're slow. We've got speed, we've got finesse, we've got power, we've got a whole bunch of diversity on that damn line. So you're gonna see exotic looks. I hope that my man McDermott gives a whole bunch of exotic looks so you don't know what the hell's coming at you. One thing that I noticed online, I don't know if it was Cover One that was showing it, but it was how the Panthers used their nickel corner and how they lined them up. So if it was towards sideline, strong side, he'd have the corner as if he's lined up ready to cover corner, and that corner is coming on a blitz and pinching down. And we have such a versatile group that I've seen. I mean, how many times do we see Poyer with a sack, or freaking what's our corner, Teron Johnson with a sack? So I have a feeling that McDermott is going to have a lot of fun with this defense. And
as long as they wrap up Deshaun Watson next time.
Oh, for crying out loud, man! As long as they do that, then that's what we're talking about. Another thing too is that doesn't go. I don't want to say it goes unnoticed, but a lot of people talk about like we should really bolster up this offense because that's what really is the problem. This offense is the problem. Shout out to my guy Channing Hill with that donation. I see you, my G. When people say, "Well, why are we beefing up the damn? Why are we beefing up the damn offense, the defense, when we have an offense that we need help? 26th in passing, right? Totally understand that, and I'm with you. But defense is what wins championships at the end of the day. Don't forget, defenses have every opportunity to score points as well, right? So if we maintain the defense and inject more playmaking ability into it, that's better for us. Takes the pressure off of who else? Josh Allen, right? So if that defense remains on top and we busting ass all year long and we putting up points from the defensive side, strip sacks, Espinosa coming in with strip sacks, Jay Hughes and all that good stuff, and we picking balls off and taking it back to the house, let's get that defense on top and ready to roll. So that way when we play the top-notch quarterbacks of the league, yo, we are ready. We are ready. But I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I still want our offense to have some points on the board because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, and that's the real. Greg Beal, my man, Greg Beal says Jeremy citation is strong, but please, we are talking. Come on, okay, you guys are talking about some other stuff, so I'm gonna let that be. So people are talking about what the hell is wrong with Bryce Hall, man. So it might be injury related.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's medical. Like as I sort of inferred earlier, you look at any scouting website, like guys who are hardcore scouts, Bryce Hall's got a solid, day 2 grade. But if you go over to Pro Football Network insiders like Benjamin Albright and Tony Pauline, he's 6th-round prospect. So to me, like Pauline is not the scout and Albright is not the scout that the draft networks, the NFL.coms are. And, Bryce Hall is way later in their projections than others. So my guess is they probably got some inside intel on medical that slipped him down their boards.
Your thoughts on Vernon Butler? David Kane wants to know your thoughts on Vernon Butler.
I mean, they're hoping he can replicate what Jordan Phillips does. And Brandon Beane even went up and said it. I think Vernon Butler is a flawed player in that he's probably not going to give you much against the run, but he very much could give you some. He over pursues. He tries too hard to be a pass rusher, kind of like Jordan Phillips did. That it affected his ability to be stout against the run sometimes. Vernon Butler is the exact. Honestly, Vernon Butler and Jordan Phillips are the same player, and we got Vernon Butler at a fraction of the price.
Matthew Rumkowski gave a quick reminder. He says they may go all zero after this. People forget they picked up Medikavich as well as Klein. So yeah, man, it's this defense is nothing to play with.
I would say as far as Medikavich is concerned, I think he's special teams only. I mean, Brandon Beane even said it. Like, describe Taylor Medikavich. Well, he just really whoops ass on special teams, and we needed to add some beef to our special teams unit. That's how he described Taylor Medikavich. Can Taylor Medikavich play strong side linebacker? Yeah, but he doesn't have the athleticism, I think, to play on the defensive side of the football. And I just personally think it's that position is dying for the Buffalo Bills. It's going away. AJ Klein is only going to play on the goal line. He's only going to play on obvious rundowns. You're going to see a hell of a lot more 5 DBs on the football field. Who knows? Maybe even the Buffalo Bills come up with some situations where they have 2 weak side linebackers on the field and start playing Voshon Joseph a little bit because Voshon Joseph's a guy who can drop back. So he forced some turnovers in college. In coverage, he's a pretty good zone defender. So who knows? Maybe even get Voshon Joseph on the field at the same time as Matt Milano.
Absolutely, and see, I'm a fan of it. I mean, Kevin was trying to shut me down with Voshon Joseph saying he was the backup to Milano, and rightfully it could be the fact. It could be the drill there, right? But what sticks in my craw right now, what sticks in my memory is when in that preseason game last year where he had, I think it was like 10 or 11 tackles, and visually you saw him all over the field. So having that speed and the fact that he's not afraid to put his helmet in your mouth, that I think is what actually excites me about a guy like Voshon Joseph. Now, is he a little on the lighter side, a little slimmer? Absolutely. Could you put a little bit more meat on? For sure. But that's where you got off season. That's where you got, put a little bit of weight on. I think he could come in and surprise some people. But we're about to find out. We're about to find out because right now we have no linebackers chosen. And we've already added a couple linebackers in free agency. We might be maybe add one more in Chris Orr, but we'll find out. Is Chris Orr, is he the one from Tennessee?
He is from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, excuse me. I think
he played opposite Zach Bond.
That's right. That is right. So my man Pierre just gave away a BF shirt to Joseph Martinez. Thanks for watching, Joseph. Listen, man, Pierre's on this giveaway tip. You know what? I'm gonna add to that. Let's get to 850 people right now. We're gonna give away a shirt. 850 people. Let's give away a shirt. Pierre, I'm putting pressure on you, bro. We're gonna get that real quick. So get ready to pick whoever at random. Steve Hampton. Steve Hampton says it's hard to find holes in his upcoming roster. Just depth at this point. Cornerback 2, OLB, and tight end. I agree with that. One thing that I was never looking forward to, or I didn't even give it any thought, was looking to even add to tight end room. And now that I'm looking at what we have at tight end, I wouldn't be against adding a tight end.
I really like Thaddeus Moss. I really, really like Thaddeus Moss. I mean, he gets a bad rep because he's Randy Moss's son, and everyone expects like the world from him. Willing and able blocker, threat in the red zone, catch radius guy, can go up and get it, contested catch situations. He's just a guy who's going to catch, 20, 30 balls a year and block for you. I like Thaddeus Moss. It's not flashy, but there's a role he can play on this football team.
I'm looking at some. What did Pierre say? Rico, scroll up at my last comment. He goes, if I can find it, man, these comments are coming. Rico, scroll up at my last comment and gave Joseph Martinez a shout out. I gave Joseph Martinez a shout out. My guy Joseph Martinez did get that. What Pierre's lost, man. He's lost. It's okay though. I still love you, Pierre. You're still a good man. You're still a good man. Why is Curtis Weaver still on the board? I mean, it's medical. It seems that Steve says it's more medical than anything else. So we're about to find out where he goes. He might even go UDFA. You just never know. It's funny how these things fall into place sometimes, man. Where you think a player is going to get drafted high or actually mid rounds and then get nothing. I forgot who I was talking to, a former player. I think he's still in the league. But I was asking, what is the draft prospect like, and what are you told? And too often, the agents are being, oh no, you're going to be selected around the 4th round, so just stand pat. 4th round shows up, 5th round, just wait, and then all of a sudden you're undrafted. And I've asked the players, like, yo, does that deject you? Does it take away from? He's like, no, it hurts, but it just makes you hungrier. And the benefit they get is that when you're drafted to wherever you want to, wherever they choose you to go. So if you're going to, you got drafted by freaking Arizona, guess what? Your ass is going out west. But when you're a UDFA, you get to choose where you want to go. You know what? The Jaguars are looking at you. You want to go over there? Because I got Buffalo looking at you too. You know what? Give me Buffalo instead. Boom. You have your choices. So that's the silver lining in when you don't get drafted. It hurts because your bank starts to go down. You know what I mean? You're not getting as much bread, and there's no guarantee in that. But when you're unrestricted or you're undrafted, that's when you have the opportunity to pick where you want to go. So that's the silver lining in all of that.
Shane Lemieux just went to the Giants. So there's another
there's a guy that you like there.
Off the board.
Shane Lemieux. Rico, I'm just happy to see that the Bills having some Florida guys is a plus. Who is your team collegiately? Steve, do you have one, or you just love the game?
I never had one, but I have one now, and it's the Arizona State Sun Devils. I'm in Sun Devil territory. I'm a Sun Devil guy now. There's no cleaner uniform in college football than that maroon and gold. I love the uniforms for ASU. I love wearing the ASU gear around too. So, yeah, I'm an ASU fan now. Pac-12 all the way. The disrespect
Pac-12.
is real.
Pac-12 all the way.
Pac-12 after dark.
I see you, bro. Malik Miller says, I agree with Steve on the Thaddeus Moss. Great project for tight end for the Bills. So he's with you, man. He likes what you're spitting.
I have gone through and I've crossed out all the names of the guys who are drafted, so I can talk about any position. If anyone wants to talk about a position.
Lamar Jackson, did he get taken yet?
No, I'm not a big fan of Lamar Jackson. He's really stiff. Tall guy, and for a guy that tall, he's super stiff. I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson, but I see the appeal. A 6'2", 200-pound corner, like I see the appeal. But
the length is there.
He's too stiff for me. Like I don't think he has the athleticism to move inside.
So Dustin Last says, remember the last 20 years of draft disappointment? Does this feel so good? Buffalo fans deserve this. We stayed with this team for so long. It's nice to have a GM and owners that don't meddle into the affairs of the GM, that can let the GM just do what he wants. And the fact that the GM and head coach are like this, that makes all of the difference. That makes all the difference in Buffalo. So that's what it is, man. Game Touch TV says, bing, bing, bing. Rico, I love you, man. No, the love is sent back.
One of my favorite players in this draft just got taken.
Who's that?
Joe Reed, Virginia. He's like a souped-up version of Isaiah McKenzie. He is a running back or a wide receiver in a running back's body. He would have been a really good on the jet sweeps, and he had 8 career touchdowns at the University of Virginia. Would have been really good competition for Andre Roberts. So imagine taking a guy who's like 6 foot 220, and can do what Andre Roberts does and do what Isaiah McKenzie does and put it into one wide receiver. I really like Joe Reed. Everyone was like, "Oh, Joe Reed's going to be a 6th, 7th round pick." I said no, he's going to go in the middle rounds. And sure enough, here he is going in the middle rounds.
Joe Reed.
Matt understands that I am a Utah man. I'm a Temple man. So I like Utah's defense, but I'm an ASU fan. I respect Utah's defense and their prospects, but I'm an ASU fan.
So Joseph Martinez says, I used to be a Miami fan because Kelly and so many prospects came from there. Yeah, man, there's a lot of Miami fans, a lot of Florida guys, Florida Gator fans as well.
Kind of sad to be a Miami fan now, though.
Yeah, it's just not the same stigma. Not the same.
My buddy went to the U, and every year he's just dead inside watching that team
dead inside
play football. Hey, Tate Martell was supposed to be it, and sure enough, he's playing like wide receiver now.
So CBS Sports is claiming that the Dolphins have QB as a need, even with Tua, Fitz, and Rosen. Okay, they need an offensive line that will keep these guys.
That's probably a type. That has to be a typo. They just forgot to take it off.
For real. Hold on a second. Pierre saying, "Oh, we did. Did we get to? Did we get up there to 850 viewers? That's great, man. So why wait till to 850? Scott Blakely, you want a BF shirt? Hit us up, Scott. Giving away another one. Damn, Pierre is feeling good today. Pierre's feeling good today. Man, he's giving away shirts. All right, people. Wayman Brown says, how's Arizona living for Buffalo rating a native going there? So he wants to know how you're living over there.
Oh, it's a little different this year, but I'll tell you right now that in the summers in Arizona are like the winters in Buffalo where you can't go outside. Like it's too damn hot. Like it's crazy. It's 100, 110, 120. I don't care if they call it a dry heat. If it's 120 degrees, it's 120 freaking degrees. Like it's hot. But
so is it hot right now? Is it?
It's 100 degrees today. It's 100 degrees today, but this is the hottest it's been all year. But I'll tell you what, like when you're sitting there on your back patio, sipping a beer with like the cool breeze flowing through your hair and with your outdoor television, watching March Madness, there's no better feeling in the world. When you're having an outdoor party for the Super Bowl, there's no better feeling in the world. Like when you're like, it's great. It's great.
You don't have to rub it in our faces, man. The people that live out east that were still like, I went for a little walk this morning with the girls, and we were walking by a park, and there was still snow on the ground. Still snow on the ground, and you sitting here with 100 degree weather over there.
And here's the perk. Here's the perks of living in a place like Phoenix. All I gotta do is drive up 2 hours north of Flagstaff, and I can get all the snow I want. Like literally, the climate up north in Arizona, northern Arizona is beautiful. If anyone's never been there,
nuts, man.
Sedona, Flagstaff, Jerome, like it is awesome up there. Right bordering up on Utah, Antelope Canyon. The camping is incredible. The hiking is incredible. All 2 hours north of here in Phoenix. Yeah.
Was it hard for you to move from Buffalo to Arizona?
Oh yeah, it was insane. The time zone is the craziest thing. Like I can't tell you how many times I'm trying to set up an interview with someone for the podcast, or even me and you trying to figure out like what time the draft starts. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like it's
you're right. Wait a minute. What time is it now over there?
It is it's 11:23.
Okay, so it's 11 a.m. Oh wow, you're up early then.
It's honestly crazy. Like everyone on the East Coast is very type A. It's like, and I'm a very type A person. Like it's structured. We got to do this. We're busy. Yeah. We're workaholics. We stress ourselves out. We overthink everything. Like that's the East Coast. Like there's no patience for anything.
Go.
And then you get to the West Coast and everyone's just chilled out. Like, man, it's relax, just like, it's like, it's nuts. Like the mindset of the people is so much different. And I rub so many people the wrong way, like at my job, because I'm very much like, let's do this. And everyone's like, chill the hell out, dude. Like, what do you do? Like you're trying way too hard. And I'm just like, sorry, that's just where I come from. Like,
are you now officially like them now? Like,
never. Never. I will never be like that. I don't care. I will never be like that.
So, because the wife is from out east in Nova Scotia. So, if you're from Ontario in the Toronto area, Montreal or Ottawa, just pretty much in Ontario, it's go. There's nonstop. It's like we got places to go. You go out east to Nova Scotia, that shit is like, yo, relax. Like I'm driving and they're just taking the sweet time, stopping at it's like Sunday every day. No. We got places to go. Let's go. Like, how dare you honk on someone to say hurry up? It's like you feel rude, right? So out west where you are is almost like where we are. That's craziness, man. So far, what would you grade the Bills draft thus far?
I'd give it an A.
It might be too soon. Damn, I would say it might be too soon. So you could take a moment to think about it.
Oh, I mean, like you can say, you can easily say that other teams had a better draft. But I would think you would say that because other teams had earlier picks, other teams had a more volume of picks. But for the hand that the Bills dealt themselves, the picks that they have, I don't think they've screwed up yet. Like they haven't. They've taken clearly a player on the board that clearly should have been selected in that spot at a position where they need a player at that position. So I don't think anyone – I don't really like grading drafts. I think that's kind of stupid. Like in 3 years from now, we can grade it. But if I were to give it a grade on like how I'm feeling about it, my feelings for this draft are it's an A.
I like that. The fact that you're able to with all confidence give the team an A. I like that. William Foreigner says Rico and Steve are the draft dynamic duo. Great analysis and insight. Yo, that's a big compliment. And you know what? I will tell you guys, Steve is leading the way. I'm just the lackey on his side saying, yo, you know, I'm pushing it, man. So Steve is the man right now. But the fact that we get a compliment like that from William, we appreciate that, man. That's real, man. That's love. Steve, how do you feel about this? Because you tweeted yesterday that I think it was today. Yeah. Or yesterday, I can't remember that. Last year, you did the very same thing. You covered the draft, and you were viewed by something in the nature of 20 people. Yeah. This year, new platform. Oh yeah. And you've got such a wide range of people watching. How does that make you feel right now? It's crazy. I love it. I love it. Not you know. I'm not in this for the clout. I just love it for the community aspect about it. Like I'm sitting here reading the comments, and people are naming prospects that I also love. And that makes me feel good. Like, all right, I'm not the only one who loves this guy. Or someone's trying to sell me on a prospect. I can't tell you how many prospects in this pre-draft process that people on draft Twitter that I wasn't very high on, that people have sold me on and flipped me on. So it's like, I absolutely love the communal aspect of Bills Mafia. I absolutely love the draft. I have a passion for it. So I love coming on here and communicating with like-minded Bills fans and you know, sparring back and forth. Like it's completely awesome. Like, and what I told people on the podcast all the time is I uprooted my entire life to move out west. I have two passions in my life outside of my immediate family. I'm an educator. I'm a teacher. Yep. I love teaching. I love children. I love every aspect of that. Awesome. And I love the Buffalo Bills. I love those two things. And my one passion, teaching, very hard to find a job in New York State, took me across the country. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell you. I felt homesick a lot. You know, I can't tell you how many times I almost drove home with my tail between my legs and just took a job in banking that I would have been miserable at. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. I stayed out here. I stayed with my passion, and this allows me to sort of feed my other passion and still feel like I'm at home, even though I'm 3,000 miles away. So that's the one thing about Bills Mafia that I love. You know what? That's a big respect I have for you, man, because I never understood the homesick that people get. Mm-hmm. I'm homesick. I'm like, you're just in my mind. I'm like, just man up. You'll be fine, right? Yeah. And the wife tells me that all the time because she's moved all over the place. She's like, you don't understand. Being homesick is you can't explain it. It's just you're not where you're supposed to be. But the fact you're making it work out there and you have this outlet, this platform that you have to kind of talk Bills, it just takes you away. And you said something that was really cool. It's not about the clout. It's about the community, and it's about that. Like, this is why we engage so much with the members, and I think that's why the members come back every single time. So shout out to my guy Steve. Steve's doing a good job. They seem to like us together. So we got to continue this, man. We got to continue. Oh, yeah, for sure. Go ahead. It's crazy. The one thing I miss is the Bills tailgate. I think I was a season ticket holder for 15 years. Sitting on my couch watching a game by myself, over DirecTV is not the same as being in the stadium with Bills Mafia. I will say this. I totally 1,000% agree with you. And it sucks because you're way on the other side. Like, is there a way that we could get you to, if everything subsides and everything gets back to normal, would you fly for a home opener? Could you do it? Oh, yeah, of course. I maybe not a home. I can make it work with work. But yeah, I literally spend, the thing is like, it's easier for me because I spend practically 2 months a year in Buffalo. My parents kept a room for me at my house on Grand Island. Nice. Me and my fiance go back for about 3 weeks around 4th of July every year. And nice. I go back every year for about a week at Christmas. So I spend about a month and a half at home every year. Does it feel good to go back? Yeah, it feels good to go back. It feels really good to go back. I tell people all the time, you know, it's when I lived in Buffalo, Friday night I was bored, Saturday night I was bored. You know, I could text any number of 30, 40 people. We go out to the bar, have a drink, do something. Nice.
Out here, when I moved out here, I literally knew no one. My only friends were my coworkers. So it's taken me a while to like build up a stable of friends that I can literally text. And it's different. Like when you live in Buffalo and you go to work every day, the water cooler talk is like, it's hey, what about the Bills? What about the Sabres? All these Buffalo things. You get to work here, and the water cooler talk is like whatever's going on it's like turning on ESPN, listening to Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. Like it's a different kind of water cooler talk. No one wants to talk about the Buffalo Bills. Like it's like it's a little different.
We have some breaking news. It looks as though, and I don't know if it's true or not, the Breida to the Dolphins.
Kevin should be happy about that one.
Kevin's going to complain about it. You know what? Let me see if I can call him and get him on the line and see how he feels. We're going to try to get Kevin hot off the press on the line if he actually answers his phone. And he's such a quiet talker. This is what was so hilarious about yesterday. Everyone already knows that when Kevin talks, and I've been with him for now like a couple of years now, he talks like this, and when I'm going to talk to you, and it's really low. So when he went ballistic yesterday, that was a new thing for Kevin. Let me call my guy Kevin and see what the F is going on with Kev. My man Kev. Let me see what my man Kevin's up to. So, Breida, Vikings trade to the Bears, by the way. There's a trade that's going on. And you got my guy Breida to the Dolphins. So, what are the odds that Kevin is not pleased with it? We're going to find out if he answers. Breida, that's a good one. That's a good pickup. He ain't going to answer.
Hi, you've reached Kevin.
Nah, he ain't going to answer. That's fine. Hi, you've reached Kevin Gerard. Let's see what we got here, man. So we are at pick. What are we at? I'm going to see what pick we're at right now. Because I got the app opened up. And that ain't running for me right now. So let's see where we at. Are we at pick 156? 155.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, right.
I'm trying to find the details of this Breida trade.
So we're at like 30 plus more picks to go. So we got some time, people. We got some time. So you know what? I'm actually going to open up the phone lines
for a 5th round pick.
What did you expect?
I'll tell you what. And here's the thing: it's a different type of player because their size is different. But you know who Matt Breida really reminds me of as a football player?
Who's that?
Fred Jackson. And that seems like a perfect guy.
No, you're gonna.
He's not a flashy running back, but he just makes plays. Like he can make a play running. He can make a play out of the backfield. He's got a little bit of an uptight running style to him.
But he's a speedy guy. He can run.
Yeah, so, Fred Jackson had a little juice to him back in the day.
Oh boy, stop! Get out of here with that.
Back in the day,
Fred Jackson was
the man led the NFL in all-purpose yards.
Listen, I love Fred Jackson. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna hate on that man, but he was no speed guy. He had tremendous vision, and that's one thing I loved about Fred Jackson. And his vision, his contact balance, all that was so crucial. And everything slowed down for him, man. I was watching Fred Jackson when he was playing in the freaking Euro League. That's how.
Was it Frankfurt Galaxy? Is that what
you dude? He was killing it. And this is the crazy thing. I was like, who is this freaking Jackson guy? Because he was killing it in the league, and I was like, but I'm like, oh, he's like, I think he was like, he's 26, or he's 27 or something like that. I was like, oh, forget about that. And then he went to the Bills. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. At one point, this is how crazy we had. Tell me how we made this not work. Fred Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, CJ Spiller. At one time, we had all three guys on one team. And I couldn't believe Buddy Nix went and drafted CJ Spiller. I was like, why would you do that? But that's what we did. But, man, we had those three guys on one team at one point. Golly, man, that's craziness.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So I'm looking at Scott Blakey. Scott Blakey wants us to move up. He wants us to move up. Are we at
Is there anyone he wants us to move up for, though? I mean, there's no one that sticks out to me as a guy that I think the Bills would want to trade up for. There are guys that I personally like, but
who do you personally like for us to trade up or to stay put?
The name that's really sticking out to me right now is Justin Strand from Wake Forest. I would trade up for Justin Strand. He is a really good linebacker out of the University of Wake Forest.
Yeah. Actually, Kevin and I were talking about Justin Strand when we were doing a mock draft together. So yeah, that's an interesting one.
He's got he had a biceps injury that cost him like the second half of his senior season. But I really big fan of Strand. I like Anthony Gordon, the quarterback. Let's see here, tight end Thaddeus Moss, but he'll be there. Tackle, I mean, Prince Tega Winogo is, unless I missed something, is still sticking out there, right? Did anyone take the Prince?
I don't think so yet. By the way, I apologize, everybody. I said 30 picks. I thought we were picking at 186. I forgot the 167. 167 pick. My bad. Making me look at my damn fool. I don't know how to do math, for crying out loud. You say you teach. How old are the students that you teach?
I teach 7th and 8th grade social studies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The 7th graders. I got to take this phone call because we got somebody calling us. By the way, the 7th and 8th graders, that's an interesting age.
Oh, yeah.
To holy jumpers. Kudos to you. This is the Buffalo Fanatics. This is Steve and your boy Rico. Who's this? And who am I speaking to?
Hey, Rico, it's Max from Dayton, Ohio.
Yes, Max from Dayton, Ohio. Talk to me, man. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Hey, well, so I actually just got off work. Who is this receiver we drafted? Is it Charles Davis, I think his name is?
Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis is the receiver we spoke. So my man Steve has been the one kind of breaking him down to me because I didn't know too much about Gabriel Davis. But to what Steve has been alluding to is that he is pretty much your Robert Foster of what we want from Robert Foster. Your speed guy, which got 6'2" height, and he can get down, and he's a ball tracker. He goes up and gets the ball. So that is what potentially is going to be our deep threat / big body red zone guy. So we look forward to having Gabriel do big things. And I don't know too much about him, so I'm going to be looking him up as well and looking at the film to see what he's about. But I trust my man Steve, and I see a lot of people have been saying, you know what? Based on what I'm watching, man, this is really good stuff. So Gabriel Davis is our guy that we picked in the 4th round.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for AJ Epinesa. I think he can come in and fill Shaq Lawson's role, to be honest.
So, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Steve, can you hear about, by the way, everything's going on?
I can hear him, yeah.
Okay. How do you feel? So I'm going to ask Steve this. Do you feel that he is the quintessential replacement for Shaq Lawson, or is he better than that? Don't even bother.
AJ Epinesa?
Yeah, Epinesa.
I think he does what the Bills want better than Shaq Lawson did.
He was drafted by Rex Ryan, then Rex Ryan got fired, didn't really fit Sean McDermott's scheme. Because, I mean, let's be real. I mean, Shaq Lawson didn't really do anything at all until this past year. I mean, he was barely even starter caliber. Because he had a pretty good year this year. I think maybe not right away, but I feel like Epinesa can get to Shaq's level that he was at last year. Maybe instead of his 4th season, I think he might be able to get there by his 2nd season, which I think is fantastic. And if you can get somebody like that in the 2nd round, I mean, I think that's great work.
So, Max, we are picking at pick 167. What route do you think we take? Are we going to the defensive side of the ball? Are we going to the offensive side of the ball? Or how do you feel? Where do you feel that is the best position for us to pick right now?
I'm curious as to what quarterbacks are still available. I missed a decent bit of the draft, so I'm not sure if there are any good prospects left. I'm 150% positive that Eason and Fromm are all gone by now. But
Fromm's still there.
See what quarterbacks are still there.
Fromm is still available.
So right now, Jake Fromm? Fromm is still there. Fromm is still available right now, but could the Bills take Fromm though? Interesting.
They should absolutely take him. I think that's a steal.
See, Steve is shaking his head like, nah, so he's not feeling that.
Here's the okay.
I mean, what is it, 6th round? I mean, take a flyer on him.
Take a flyer on him?
That's true. That's true.
Matt Barkley, he had a nice game against the Jets 2 years ago, and then last year he had a horrible game against the Jets. I don't know. I'm not really. I think with Josh Allen, how reckless he is, right? This 6th round pick is not going to replace him by any means. But, I mean, Josh Allen, I'm surprised. He had that concussion against the Patriots last year. And, I feel like it's not crazy to think that Josh Allen will miss about a game a year because just how crazy and I mean, the guy, he's 6'5", and he runs people over like a tight end, which is nice. But, I mean, you're not going to be able to get right back up every single time. So I think it's safe to take a guy in the 6th round.
Are we dismissing Barkley as a backup? I mean, he's just the backup. Are we dismissing that? Why are we? And not that it's a bad thing, but why are we talking about a Fromm or drafting bringing in a quarterback when we have a great quarterback that doesn't push to be a starter, not going to, and it seems that he's happy to be a backup. So keep it that way, and he seems to get along very well with the starting quarterback. I wouldn't even touch quarterback in this case unless there's something that stands out so much that you can say, okay, I need it. Fromm is new for me.
The thing about
he's a winner.
He's a winner.
In college.
Hold on, Steve.
I mean,
Steve.
I thought he was going to get taken in round 3, 4, and if he's still there in the 6th round, I mean, sure, why not?
That's a big drop for him.
What's the likelihood of this 6th or 7th round pick making the roster in the first place?
No, that's facts. That's good. Steve's about to jump in, but you can't hear who Steve is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up. I'll let you listen to Steve's response. Max, I appreciate your phone call, my G.
Hey, man, can I get a shout-out to my 3 Bills fans?
You got it. Is it Zach Zippy, and I can't remember. Dara.
Zach and Dara. Can I get a bing, bing, bing for those 3?
Bing, biggity, bing to Zach, Dippy, and Jara. I'm messing up the damn names. Give it to me one more time because I want to get it right. I wanted to hear it. So the first one is Zach. Is it Zach or Jack?
So it's Zach with a Z.
Oh, Zach. Okay.
With a J,
yeah.
Dara with a D.
Okay, so Zach, Jippy, and Dara. So Zach, Jippy, and Dara. Shout out to you guys. Bing, biggity, bing. My guy Max. Thanks for calling, man.
I love it, man.
All right, man. Take care. That's my guy Max. So Fromm, he thinks that we should take a flyer on Fromm and just call it a day.
Here's the thing, Matt. Jake Fromm is going to be a very good backup in the National Football League for a very long time for just the reasons why he says he's a smart, efficient quarterback, not going to make mistakes, knows how to facilitate an offense. But the question you got to ask yourself is, are you really willing to carry 3 quarterbacks until it's Matt Barkley's time to go? I would rather draft a guy in the 6th or the 7th round or bring in a priority free agent in the mold of a Tyree Jackson, not Tyree Jackson, obviously, because he was too far away, but more of a guy similar to Josh Allen, a guy we can develop into a player that's similar to Josh Allen, because Matt Barkley and Josh Allen are night and day different. So I would rather have a guy you can develop on your practice squad similar to a Josh Allen than I would a heady, smart backup, because that's what Matt Barkley is, and I just don't think I need 2 of them.
So guess what? Bryce Hall to the Jets.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Bryce Hall to the Jets. Let me tell you something, man. I say this every single year, and I'm going to continue to say this. Every time that we, as the Bills, feel that we are taking the next step up and we're really ready to take over, the damn Dolphins do something great. The damn Jets are doing something good, and there's not really much of a disparity. It's like we're all kind of clumped in together, even with the Patriots. And the Patriots have the slight edge because of, they have the head coach of Bill Belichick, and they got those 6 rings with them, or 5 or 6 rings, whatever the hell they have. But man, the Jets are putting together a freaking little team, man.
Their draft is incredible. I mean,
wow.
I will say this: their head coach is a moron, but their GM is onto something here, because
for sure.
Becton, Mims, Davis, Zuniga, Pirine, Morgan, Cameron Clark, Bryce Hall. That is a hell of a haul that they have gotten. That is a reset your franchise type of draft right there.
That's a hell of a good year for them, man.
Kevin might trade this draft for his draft.
So
Patriots are up, and Jake Fromm is on the board. He's a very Patriot type of quarterback.
I could definitely see something like that happening.
They'll take Anthony Gordon. I know that Anthony Gordon would be a perfect fit in New England, so I'm hoping they don't draft him.
Anthony Gordon. I know nothing about this Anthony Gordon guy. So, but here's the crazy thing. You got
here's my hot take. Here's my hot take, real quick.
Yeah.
If the pick is in for the Patriots right now, and it's Anthony Gordon, he's their Week 1 starter.
You say that with such just nonchalant.
He's their Week 1 starter.
To say, you know, Here's a hot take. This is nonchalant. So
he's going to
start
What?
Start over Stidham. He's going to start over Stidham, and he's going to start over. I think they brought back Hoyer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's their week 1 starter. I'm telling you right now, if they take Anthony, no, they didn't take. They took a kicker, so never mind.
My gosh, Patriots are a funny group of people. I swear.
Bill Belichick, he's his own worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy. Yeah,
he's not. You know what? Come to think of it, though, I think it was Pierre that made this up, but that mentioned it. The Belichick doesn't draft like great.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't draft great. They have so many drafts. So one of these, decent like players that you can pan out. But for the most part, they don't draft great. It's just they get a lot of free agent guys coming over, and low drafted guys that don't have expectations, like huge expectations, just come in and do your job. And he does well, but there's never like a superstar that he's drafted. When's the last time they drafted a superstar other than Gronk? I think Gronk was taken in the 2nd or 3rd round. I can't remember the last time they took a huge, like, big-time impact player.
Well,
man,
here's the thing, too. How many Super Bowls they have? 6, 4?
Exactly. Yeah.
How many?
Who knows? Numbers. They got numbers.
I'm actually being dead serious. And then how many have they been in? They could have won every single Super Bowl. They've never gone into the Super Bowl as the worst team. Like, Bill Belichick is his own worst enemy. Like, Tom Brady was taking a discount for years. If he would have made any effort to go get him a stud receiver after Randy Moss left, they probably wouldn't have lost any of these. Like, Bill Belichick is legitimately his own worst enemy. The only reason why they don't have more Super Bowls is because Bill Belichick thinks he's smarter than everyone and spends half his draft picks on Rutgers players. I swear.
Oh, man.
Trading back when he should have taken the best player on the board. Bill Belichick has cost his team more Super Bowls than he's won his team, and that's saying something.
So Alex Mayer says, I'd take another receiver or a defensive end. Jonathan Peoples-Jones or Anaya or Weaver. I mean, you could go that.
Peoples-Jones is more Gabe Davis than he was Gandy Golden. So I think Peoples-Jones is another Robert Foster type. So I don't think we're going to see a Peoples-Jones with a little bit more return ability. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Peoples-Jones would be in play now.
Havana SCP says, hey, Rico, what about getting back your man, Nate Peterman? Don't ask me that question because if it were me, I would say bring him on or bring his ass on back to Buffalo. But no, I'm playing. I like Peterman, man. Peterman, you know what I liked about Peterman is that he wasn't really given they didn't really give a damn about Peterman. And when he came in and was doing all right in preseason and everybody was shitting on him and there was only a few people that were kind of supporting him. And I think the more support I was giving him, the more I wanted to root for him to do well. You know what I'm saying? So as my guy goes to take a bathroom break because he's a rookie, he doesn't know how this game works. We don't take no bathroom breaks. We just keep rolling. But the way it works out for Peterman, wherever the hell he is right now, I think he's with the Raiders, but I think he got cut. But it is what it is, man. But would I like to have him back? It'd be cool. But he's where he's at. Yo, what earphones you got right now?
Something I bought on Amazon.
Yo, are those the Blue Audios? Oh, hell yeah, they are. You got the Blue Audios, boy. Uh-huh.
Oh, they were like...
those are the Blue Audios. Yo, good choice. Great choice.
Yeah.
Great choice. You got the DJ headphones.
That was the Amazon recommended purchase. So.
It's a good one, man. I do my homework on my headphones, and those headphones, the Blue Audios, are nice. Those are nice, and they're nice and they got the nice padded.
Yeah.
And you can wear those things for hours, and you won't even notice it.
Yeah, my ears were struggling last night when I took them off, but yeah, they're doing good today.
Yeah, no, those are good ideas. I was like, wait a minute, those look familiar to me. Audio.
I think Max has got these too, and I think Dave just bought them as well.
Yo, those are legit, man. Those are good ones, and they kind of flip around if you don't want them on your ear a little bit.
I didn't realize I could do that.
Oh yeah, you can. Welcome to the game, man. Welcome to the game. That's where it's at. These are DJ ones, so you can kind of flip it. So if you just want to have one and kind of listen to everything else and kind of do your thing, you can. Sometimes when I'm recording downstairs and I need to hear the kids, I just flip it like this and kind of do my thing. But yeah, man. Wow. Oh yeah, welcome to the game. Welcome to the game.
I have been putting it on the back of the ear for a little bit at some point. I didn't realize you could just flip it.
Oh yeah, you can flip that. Rick James says, Rico, you wearing a diaper? Nah, man, you just gotta control that bladder. You gotta control that bladder because when you walked away, I was like, hey, Steve is a rookie, man. He don't take no bathroom breaks. We just keep going. We gotta keep rolling.
My fiance brought me in a coffee and a Cliff Bar.
She's good. She's good that way. I've had my little girl come in 4 times saying, because we went bike riding earlier today.
Yeah.
And then she's been asking me to go bike riding again. I was like, Daddy's still going. Daddy's still going. You got to chill out. So 5 picks until it's our turn.
Tyler Johnson just went. He's a good player.
Minnesota?
Yeah. That's nice little contested catch weapon for Tom Brady.
Oh, he went to the Panthers. Yeah, that'd be good for him.
KJ Hill is still sitting out there. That's surprising to me.
And that's somebody that we've spoken to. So KJ Hill could be the guy. Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
So he's about like 6 feet. So he's like your typical overall receiver. Doesn't do anything fantastic, but he's a good receiver for everything else. A bit of a burner somewhat, but could be the pick, but I can't see us going receiver again.
I've whittled it down to 3 guys I feel confident in. Javelin Guidry, the nickel cornerback from Utah, Chris Orr, the strong side linebacker from Wisconsin, and Kelvin Throckmorton from Oregon. Now, these guys are all in various rounds on my board. I have Orr and Throckmorton as 7th rounders, but the way this draft is going, I can easily see them going earlier. I love Miles Bryant, the little mini honey badger. Very aggressive. Kind of reminds me of Tron. Yeah, reminds you of Tron Johnson a little bit. A guy who's very small, but plays really aggressive in the nickel. Miles Bryant is great. Who's the other guy I was going to tell you to check? If you like Miles Bryant, you'll like Javelin Guidry. So if you do like Miles Bryant, check out Javelin Guidry as well. He's a pretty physical quarter with Utah.
Jeff Yang, father's more important than being a you know that's what it is. But they know that the promise is we go bike riding after Daddy's done. So we took them. It's like halftime. First half we bike. Second half we go bike. Jeff Yang, but I appreciate that. I love that. Jeff Yang is a father, man. He knows what it is. Let me see what I saw somebody write something that was pretty dope. Did Kenny Willekes get chosen?
No,
yet?
He could probably move to the strong side and be like an option as like a stand-up guy too. So who knows? I would
have thought he would have been long gone by now. But I mean, we're only in the 5th round, so I mean, this could be where he could go. So it'd be very interesting.
One of my favorite players, another one of my favorite. I have a lot of favorite players. Kalike Hudson, the guy who played that Jabril Peppers role at Michigan. I thought he could. He has some Matt Milano type potential at the weak side linebacker spot. Very small, like 220. He just went to the Redskins. Interesting pick there.
So Redskins, did they make enough decent picks to be competitive in that NFC East?
Let me see their entire. No, because their quarterback is Dwayne Haskins. But
so are you not a fan of Dwayne Haskins?
I'm a fan to an extent. You really got to put. I think you got to put a juggernaut around him to be successful. And I just don't. They don't have a. He reminds me of Jared Goff. Honestly, he reminds me of Jared Goff. Jared Goff is at his best when he's got his offense. He's got his head coach talking into his ear right until the snap, and when he has an ultra. He's just not surrounded by a bunch of. He's really good at getting the ball to alphas, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. He ain't going to win you a Super Bowl on his own. He's a guy who needs studs around him, and I think that's a kind of a role that Dwayne had. My comp for Dwayne Haskins last year was Jared Goff. Like that's the type of quarterback I think he is. He's a guy who can facilitate, but he needs to have a great O-line, needs to have some great wide receivers, and he needs to have a running game and an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
He just everything needs to be right. I think for you to win with Dwayne Haskins, but it's possible.
I feel like the Redskins are going to ruin him because it's all about destination and where you go and who believes in you. And for what's that?
Who's their OC? They got somebody there. They retain what's his name? They kept they
got rid of what's his face. That was terrible head coach.
Did they keep O'Connell?
I don't recall.
O'Donnell.
I'm not too sure, but young Simba. I mean, had he gone anywhere else, I think he would have had a better rookie season. But you go to a team that doesn't even like you, like it's the EJ Manuel situation all over again. You get drafted to the team when your head coach doesn't even give a damn about you. And look, Marone's left, EJ Manuel's out of the league, right? So it wouldn't surprise me. And I hate that. I don't want to put that out there, but it wouldn't surprise me if Simba is out of the league by 5 years from now, if he doesn't get his act together. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, shoot, we'll see. We shall see.
Oh, Scott Turner, Norv Turner's son, of course. I think Norv Turner's probably still there as an analyst as well. But Kendall Vilder just went to the Bears. He's a pretty solid a cornerback with some upside out of Georgia Southern. So there's another name that the Bills might have been considering off the board. I'm going to throw a name out at cornerback that I really like. His name is Harrison Hand, the University of Temple. This is a guy who's got some size, about 6 foot, 195. Nice. Really aggressive, ball hawking zone corner. So if he doesn't work out at corner in the National Football League, he's got a future probably at safety, playing center field for a team. And so, hedging your bets, he can play special teams. And the one thing he needs to work on is, like I said, very good, very aggressive zone corner. He's got to work on. He's got some tight hips, turning and running down the field because he can get beat deep. So that's the one issue that you run into with the Harrison Hand. But sure. I mean, in the 5th round, whether the Bills like him or not, I don't know. But one of my favorite DBs left is Harrison Hand out of Temple University.
Well, there you have it. So I'm looking at your
Dane Jackson. Right, Dane Jackson from Pitt too.
He's still there too, right?
Corner, yeah.
So I'm looking at the draft guide that Steve has put together, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Steve has put together a draft guide on players that he feels that Bean is looking at, and what other draft nits have put together on certain prospects. And we're now in the 5th round, and based on what I see, you have Gordon for quarterback still available. For Perrine is gone. Michael Perrine. So I've got. So you got Duvernay. Oh, Duvernay got picked right already.
Yeah, he went to the Ravens.
Yeah. So fuck, man, the Ravens are gonna be nice. Looking at the offensive line, so you've got Heck and Alex Taylor still available.
No, Heck got drafted.
Oh, Heck got drafted. Okay. Willikis is. Oh shit, you had Willikis. You had Willikis in the 5th. Look at you.
Yeah.
Okay, there, Steve.
There were a lot of questions about his functional athleticism.
Right. And Alton Robinson
he's gone. No, he's gone.
Where did he go?
Seahawks grabbed him.
Okay. When did this round?
The top of this round, yeah.
Top of this round, okay. Quarterman is gone already. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting.
I would look at the names I'm highlighting. Javelin Guidry, Chris Williamson, even though it's not the round. Zach Orr, John Pennicini, and Calvin Throckmorton, I think, are some names to really keep an eye on. The names are the highlight, are the ones that the Bills have had conversations with.
I see that. I see that. Okay.
A sleeper, Rodney Clemens out of Southern Methodist University, a pretty decent safety. Rodney Clemens, I had a priority free agent grade on him, but the way this draft is going, who knows? Rodney Clemens out of SMU might be a name to keep an eye on.
Rodney Clemens. So we are right now, we're very close to the Bills picking. So a couple more picks and then we're up. And the Dolphins pick is in. Who the hell are the Dolphins picking? Who are the Dolphins picking? And I'm like, and the thing is, like, it every time now that I see the Dolphins, I think that Kevin's sitting here going against the wall and going, golly, man.
Curtis Weaver.
I wonder if he's happy about that. Do you think he'll be happy about that one?
For the value of that pick? Yeah, probably.
He better show some happiness. I'm going to call his ass afterwards and find out what he truly feels like. But that's actually really cool, man. So for those that potentially are wondering what we are looking at, it is the draft guide. So we can download Steve's draft prospectus, at the buffalofanatics.com and download that, man. And you can kind of see what we are looking at. It's nice and highlighted. Tells you who we've spoken to, what round, who's projected to go where in terms of Steve's opinion and what he believes Bean is going to do. Really, really well put together, Steve. Well done. Well done. How long did it take you to put that together?
I've been working on it since the combine.
Oh, since the combine. Nice. Okay.
The thing is like I'm very neurotic and like you'd like to get your prospectus out like a week in advance or whatever, for people to look at. But
right.
Sometimes that information that comes in the day before, the day of the draft is like some of the most important information. Like I probably would have had Terrell Lewis on my board. I took Terrell Lewis off because of medicals. So, Curtis Weaver was a projected second. Curtis Weaver wasn't on my draft board because I projected Curtis Weaver as a 2nd round pick and I didn't think he was a 2nd round pick.
Hold that thought. I got Kevin on the line. Kevin.
What's up?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Not bad.
You okay? You okay over there? Yeah. Just I've got you live on the phone with the followers. A lot of people have been asking how you've been and how you're doing. Are you okay?
I'm doing a lot better after we picked up Matt Breida.
Okay, so you feel good about that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like that pickup for a 5th-round pick.
Okay, and you just
we
picked
had
up
3 5th-round picks, so we threw one for Matt Breida from the 49ers. We just drafted Curtis Weaver in like the end of the 5th round.
How do you feel about that?
He's good. He was at one point was a possible 2nd or 3rd round pick. He's kind of like an, very Bill Belichickian style edge rusher, we'll say.
Okay.
He's effort, hustle, technique, coach's son. But he's highly productive out of Boise State. So
should be.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy you don't want your team to pick in the 2nd round, but if you get him in the 6th, you're very happy.
So what about the earlier picks today? Because a lot of times I was looking at the picks that you guys made earlier, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if he's gonna like that one. So are you okay with today's picks?
No, I didn't. I liked the guard pick, right? No, I don't really. I don't know. I like the idea of picking a guard there because, our offensive line was trash, so let's get some more bodies in.
Right.
There were like 5 other guards I would have picked ahead of that guy, but from Georgia there, but he's young, he's huge. Miami clearly has a preference where they want like giants.
Yeah.
So they're going after like big guys. They wanted to have like a downhill kind of running attack. So they're not picking per se the guys I like, but they're picking like there's obviously a type there. Jason Strowbridge, their 5th round pick, is just a waste of a pick. He just threw away a pick for nothing.
I mean, you did have 13 picks, so you knew you're gonna throw one or two away.
We had 15. But
yeah. But I will say this though, people are very pleased that you're alive and well. They're sending their condolences to you. They feel that we can take you off the watch list. And listen, I hope you spend the rest of the afternoon, being okay.
Ironically, there's a shoelace beside me, but tell everyone that I wasn't thinking about using it. It's just a gift from the cat.
You got it. Well, I appreciate that. You're a dummy. Anyway, man, we'll talk to you later, man. I'm just gonna finish up here with my man Steve.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy. Take care. That's my guy Kev. It seems like he's okay. My guy Kenny G was like, man, Rico, you talking to him like he just came through surgery. Hey, buddy, you okay? You have to make sure, man. You really have to make sure. What's up, man? Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do, Steve? Because the kids come first, I'm gonna let us make this pick into the 5th, and I promised them I'd go for a bike ride, so I'm gonna go for a bike ride with them.
Right.
And then we'll go from there.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Is that good for you? Yes. So yeah, so we're because we've been rolling for 3 hours already? Shoot, we've been doing pretty good. Pretty damn good. So we are hold on, we on the clock right now. So this is it, man.
Yeah.
This is the
Lions
pick.
just took Cephas. I'm gonna say Javelin Guidry. That's my guess.
Javelin Guidry. Going corner. I like it. Nickel corner. Is that what's the size? What's his size?
He's smaller, 5'10", I believe.
It's 5'10".
Yeah, about 5'10". But he's thick. He's like 5'10", like 200.
Yeah, so he's because the thing is, when you think about it, when you have Teron Johnson, which I love Teron Johnson's game, but my man just happens to, you can't depend on him to stay healthy at all times, right? So, it's one of those situations where if it doesn't hurt to bring in a corner just to make sure that if something happens, you got someone that can break down. Little girl.
Daddy,
Yes.
why am I on this side but I'm on that side?
It's just the way the camera is set up. Are you confused?
Yes.
Here, have a seat. Have a seat for a little bit. So the Bills are up. So I'm gonna be interested to see what we do here. Oh, you're not gonna be able to fit, but it doesn't work. You just gotta sit. Just sit and wait for that. So Guidry's your guy, huh?
Yeah, I'm just basing it on the fact that the Bills have had conversations with him. It was later on in the process too. It was a FaceTime. It wasn't like they saw him at the East West Shrine game or anything like that. It was a FaceTime conversation that they had with him. So my guess is Javelin Guidry. It fits a 5th to 6th round range. Nickel corner, play a little safety. versatile. Come in, compete with Saranio and Dean Marlowe.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to now stay putting your picks because the Bills are on the clock right now. So, who do we pick with the pick? Oh, shoot. Look at New England, man. Kyle Duggar, Josh Uche, Anthony Jennings, Asiasi, Keene. That's not bad at all. Hold on, baby.
Kicker.
And the kicker from Marshall. Damn, we're going to find out what the Bills are going to do, man. It's going to be interesting.
My boy Eno's still sitting there, running back.
I see that. Benjamin was supposed to be that guy, right?
Mooney from Fresno State would have been a second or third round pick if it wasn't for some injuries, but his medicals are not great. Hunter Bryant again, that move tight end.
Could that be a move that Mick?
They've been looking at move tight ends. I don't like him. Yeah. I think he's a little soft, but
okay. Nick Harris. Man, the Bills are really like they don't.
They're
play
taking
around.
their time.
Yeah, they do. They're really just making sure that we got what we need and we're straight.
Pick is in. Oh, the NFL.com app says the pick is in. The TV does not say the pick is in.
Yeah, TV.
Now the TV is updated. This NFL.com app is pretty sweet.
It's actually nice. I'm actually flipping back and forth.
What time is it?
It's 3:06.
You've been down here for 3:06?
3 hours. That's what we do. We grind it out, girl. We grind it. Oh, we are for sure. So it says that we need a cornerback, guard, receiver, edge, and RB. That's what Mel thinks we need. He thinks we need a
guard. The only guard that I can see. Selection is in.
Who do we got?
Jake Fromm. The value is there.
Wow. Max Kamani.
The value is there. We wanted a backup quarterback.
Well, how about that? Isn't that interesting?
Yep. The value was that was Brandon Beane saying that was Brandon Beane saying this is a career backup quarterback. This is Brandon Beane saying if Josh Allen goes down, this is a guy who could lead my offense. I don't think he has the upside of a starter, but he has the upside of a backup who will be in this league for a very long time. In the fifth round, I'm not upset with it. I mean, this is a guy who played for a big time program in some big time games. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to compete with Josh Allen. I'm not saying he's going to be a great National Football League quarterback, but he's going to be a solid backup quarterback, and that's what you want. So, if you can get that in the fifth round, by all means, do it.
Let me play the I don't want to say the devil's advocate in this, but what does that do for Josh Allen? Like, you know that you have a
absolutely nothing.
Non-threat. Okay, in theory, it should do absolutely nothing. But when you have a guy behind you in Barkley, you're not even thinking about anything. You just know he's your backup. Now, you took a rookie that had a pretty damn decent collegiate career, and now you bring him on in the fifth round, not a sixth or seventh. You get him in the fifth round. Does he worry? Like, oh shit, what's going on with this?
You know, it's kind of like that thing where, you know, the second Josh Allen sees Jake Fromm throw a football, it's kind of like dick size a little bit. He's not going to be worried at all. Not going to be worried at all. Oh, sorry, there's a child there. Sorry.
They can't hear you.
They got
earmuffs. We're straight. But yeah,
like I don't think the second he sees him throw a football, I don't think he's gonna be like Jake Fromm is a facilitator. Josh Allen is a playmaker. Like, they're two different style quarterbacks. This guy's a career backup, but he's a very good career backup. So is that what he was supposed to be? Career backup? He was a starter in the right system.
I think people like this. They say this is a steal. This is a steal for the
Bills. In the fifth round, you can get your backup quarterback for the next 10 years. Why not? Right. That is a steal. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he comes in and he lights up the preseason in 4 years, he'll probably leave and get a contract somewhere to be a starter, and he'll be a very average starter in the National Football League. Like, you're hedging your bets. If Josh Allen does flame out, you're hedging your bets. But
so Davis Webb has been on a special. He's been on our practice squad. He's as good as gone. I can't see us holding on to it. Yeah. Now, here's my real question. Are we holding on to three quarterbacks on the active roster?
You have to now at this point. You have to. Unless Jake Fromm beats out Matt Barkley, you have to keep three quarterbacks because Jake Fromm is not going to make it to your practice squad. That's not going to happen.
No, definitely not. Someone's going to steal his ass. And in the fifth round, you don't put a fifth rounder on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So that in itself is very interesting. Wow. people are pleased with it. They seem that they're on top of this, man. Allen will have to man up and do better, Rico. Hey, listen, you know what? This could be a psychological move as well. I don't mind that comment. This could be a psychological move because sometimes when you have someone that you're not threatened by, you're just there. But when you have someone that could be nipping at your butt that says, you know what, I'm not here to be no damn backup. I'm gonna do what I can to XXX. Maybe this is what that little bit that Allen needs to take us to the next level. So very, very interesting. This is actually a very good way to end this stream. We've been streaming for a few hours now, babe. Give me 2 seconds. Daddy's gonna finish off and we're gonna go. Okay. This is interesting. This is going to be quite of a ride. I'm actually very curious. I'm going to be checking my phone while I'm out with the kids to see where we go. I think you should continue this on Twitter. And go from there.
Sure.
That'd be big.
Yeah. I'll probably try to do it on Facebook Live. Maybe usually it seems like more people are up on the Facebook Live. So maybe when the Bills pick us up next time, I'll head over onto the Facebook Live.
Well, and I'm going to tell everybody. So for those that are wanting this to continue with my man Steve, because I got daddy duties, I got to go take care of that. My man Steve is going to be going on Facebook. Actually, you know what? I wanted to make sure that everyone knows where they can find you. Is yours with the underscore in your Twitter handle?
No, it's just at Judge Mathis.
Perfect. I'm going to put that up right now because you guys need to know who this man is. And I'm about to hold on. Let me switch this up because I am playing games. Y'all need to know who this man is, man. Y'all need to know who this man is.
I don't need the close up.
Y'all need to. I need you guys to go and follow my guy, Steve Judge Mathis at Judge Mathis on Twitter. Go look him up. Flood his damn timeline. Just flood his ass. How many followers you got right now? How many followers you got on Twitter?
I'm inching in on 1,000. I got about like 980.
Oh my God, yo! Everybody, get this man to 2,000. Get this man to 2,000. I know we don't have 2,000.
Our Bills guys account has about 2,500. So
perfect.
I used to share a lot of my thoughts and opinions from there, but I've been slowly transitioning to my personal account. So I've been neglecting the personal account for a while. So
my man Tilton is still running things over there. So I want you guys to hit up my guy Steve at Judge Mathis. At Judge Mathis. And also, I want you guys to follow the Bills guys. It's very simple. It's at the Bills guys on Twitter. If you guys want to follow your boy, it's very simple. It's Rico B9. It's the real Rico. I have so many damn handles all over the place. That's my Instagram. But real Rico _BF is myself on the Twitter. And I think this was great. I hope you guys had a good time. Give me 2 seconds with your TikTok. You TikToking on my damn thing. So I want y'all to give us a follow. The Buffalo Fanatics on all social platforms, Instagram, Twitter. We even have TikTok. We got the whole shebang, y'all. We doing it. By all means, I want you guys to jump in and download Steve's draft guide. A fantastic job you've done, Steve. Honestly, you've done a really good job. Plug anything else, man. There's one thing I'm missing.
Yeah, the Bills Guys podcast drops every Monday morning, so we'll be doing that. I think I'll be on what am I going to be on with the West Her? I'll be on with Del Reed on Monday. I don't know where that's going to be, but I don't know what platform that's going to be on. But yeah, that should be fun as well. And I didn't even have Jake Brum on my board, to be honest with you, because I thought he'd be gone by now. But the Bills Guys podcast, the Buffalo Fanatics blog. I write an article every Monday morning. Have a podcast drop every Monday morning, and then Fanatics Live on. It's gonna. We're condensing it a little bit. It's going to be Mondays on Facebook, I believe, and Thursdays on Periscope. So awesome. Should be a good time, man. Anytime between 7 and 10 Eastern.
Good. So follow us on the Facebook so you don't want to miss Steve jumping on and doing all this good stuff that he's been doing for the draft. Jump on Twitter, get him on the personal account, get him also on the Bills guys. Get all the information in the links in the bio on the YouTube page. Y'all have been fantastic. We got up to over 850 live viewers today, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in, man. 3 hours of this. I can't believe you guys messed with us this much, but it's because of that pretty face over there to the right of me. So great job, Steve, today. It was amazing, fantastic. We're going to do this again. They seem to like what we've done.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, man, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a fantastic afternoon. Guess what? I got to go do my thing, and then I got to work overnight tonight because I chose to do overtime. So your boy's going to be busy. So until next time, come here. Come here for a second. Until next time, it's your boy. What do you say? What do you say? Who says, and and I'm gone. And I'm back. It's been a while since you've been here. So you guys have been fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream from yesterday and today. And wherever Steve decides to go, follow him on Twitter and he'll tell you where to go. And then we'll go from there. Give me a little TikTok before we get out of here. No, you good? All right, folks. So we'll see you guys next time. And I'll be dropping a video on the recap of all drafts. I'll probably put a little video together and then we'll go from there. All right. So we'll see you go Bills. And let's see McDermott work some magic with Fromm.
He's drafted from his couch. He doesn't have the Brandon Bean setup.
I know. Look at him. He's just a regular dude, man. Just a regular Buffalo dude, man. I love that, man. All right, guys. So we will talk soon. We'll see you next time.